everything good here? We got 1 and we got 2. Okay. I don't know if Hip Hop Gamer in here, man, but I sent him the link. Did you let him know that I was sending him the link? Because it didn't go blue yet.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I see it's
I sent him the link,
what
but the
color is
message
supposed to
didn't
be?
go
I thought
blue.
it's supposed to be green by his name. Let me see them things because he said okie dokie.
Okay, well, it is what it is. We still gotta go forward, so we're gonna do what the topics say, and that is to make sure somatics delete it. So let's make sure we do that. Get that out the way. Delete that guy. We don't want him in here. Okay, I can take this headset off.
Some new headsets because you sound clear as hell.
The headset right now?
Yeah, like I'm telling you, it sounds so different now.
No, this is the angle of the mesh thing that's over top of the mic. They told me to get one of these pop filter things, so it's supposed to sound better with the pop filter.
He said he got it.
Okay, well, we on episode 12, so when we come back after next Sunday, it'll be episode 13, which is good because episode 13 will be after the reviews come out.
These are the top results.
No, stop, you stupid phone. Fuck out of here. Yeah, episode 13 will be when the Death Stranding reviews come out. I mean, next Sunday, I'm not saying that I wouldn't want to do one. It's just, it's not much to really talk about, you know? I mean, it's not going to be a lot to talk about. So, it's cool if I skip. We did have a lot of shit to go down this week, so we're going to try to go look over that news real quick. Mark it down and see what we talk about first. Yep. I really, really love
See, who up in here? Me and you the only people in here?
Yeah, I'm looking at some, they said that Sony has filed for a ring type, chassis. The controller sounds similar to the design being used for both right and left handed users. Okay, so basically it looks like they filed a patent for a new type of PlayStation Move controller for the next generation of VR, which is pretty interesting because I was just I wasn't saying, but I was thinking for a long time that the Valve and all of the other one, the Oculus, I like how their controllers are. It looks like it's much better. I mean, PlayStation Move's not bad, but clearly it's outdated. So it's cool that they're making some new peripherals for the VR of next generation. Let's see. We had a lot of things that happened this week, to be honest. We should also talk about the MPD, even though most people don't like doing that. Yeah, I'm gonna talk about that. Oh, that's a good article to talk about. The Switch and the PlayStation Vita. Oh man, I swear sometimes. That's funny. It's really funny. Damn, bro. I'm tired of the beggars, man. I can understand that. We got a dual shocker over here. And I want to open a game industry.
Yo. Can y'all hear me?
Yeah, what's going on?
Yeah, what's up with you,
what's
man?
up, y'all? Yo, what's poppin', dog? Yo, I'm here, son. Y'all can hear me? Everything,
man.
like, sound good?
Yeah, everything sound good.
You good?
All right, cool.
What's up with you,
thanks
though,
for having
family?
me,
What's
y'all.
up with
Appreciate
you?
it. So I'm blessed, man. I'm great, man. Like right after this, you know what I'm saying? I'm getting prepared for, I got like a lot of events happening this week, so I'm excited about that. Then I also got uh uh like this new music that I'm working on for different video games that I got to go to the studio and record. Oh man, it's just a whole bunch of stuff, man. Very excited, very excited. The Duty about to drop. I got a big launch party for that. Very excited, man. You know what I'm saying? A lot of stuff with the NBA that I'm working on. I'm just hyped, bro.
That's good,
Everything
man.
great.
That's good, bro. I appreciate, man. I really appreciate you, man, coming out, man. I really do, bro. Man, we had a couple of people that posted being here, man. Like I'm still waiting. Well, Colt, shout out. I'm sending a big shout out to Colteastwood, man. Colteastwood said he couldn't make it. And he hit me up at the last minute. Thanks, Colteastwood, to heat me up at the last minute. And then we got Randall Thor. I'm still waiting on Randall Thor. Randall Thor supposed to be here, but we got Hip Hop Gamer in the house, man. Hey, bruh, I really appreciate you coming through, bruh. Hey, man, you know that old saying, I said this a couple of weeks ago to Dillard Gaming, man. I said this thing about, you know what I mean? I like proving myself wrong because I always got this mentality that rub shoulders with millionaires, you know what I mean? And every time I hit you up, bruh, you hit me right back, you know what I mean? And I like proving myself wrong, man, because I paint this picture like when you get to a certain, because you like over what 100-some thousand subs or something like that, and like when you get up there, man, you think.
Actually, like in my situation, because I did things different. Like I know the buzzword right now is influencers, but I'm the Amazon of influencers. So what I mean by that is I'm a brand partner with Def Jam Records. I'm a brand partner with B&H Photo Store. I'm a brand partner with Logitech G. I'm a brand partner with Hot 97. So collectively, if you want to talk numbers, I'm well over 10 million. You know what I'm saying? Well over. So it's like,
ooh, excuse me then. I take that back. Excuse me. 10 million subs then. I was like, hey, I'm sorry. I'm sorry for that.
But the point in that is like, whether I got 10 million subs or one sub, it doesn't change greatness. You understand what I'm saying? Like Michael Jordan could have been somebody that stayed in the park forever and we never would have known him in the NBA, but it doesn't mean that he ain't great at what he do. So I don't measure success by numbers. I measure success by, impact. And if you can impact somebody's life in a positive way, even if you just reach one, then your life is successful according to God's eyes. So I'm just very different with how I measure value.
Oh man,
that's deep.
I hear you, bro.
That's deep.
I hear you. That is.
Yeah, thanks, man. I appreciate it.
I appreciate it, man, because like I said, man, I had this thing in my mind, like, he had never come to this show, or, you know what I mean? But you came, and every time you answered all my what's name, so I got to give it up to you, bro. Like Hip Hop Gamer, I never thought we'd get Hip Hop Gamer on this game, but we got him. And thank you, bro. Thank you for coming out.
I've never ever been that type of dude where I'm too big for something. Like, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. I feel like when you do get in a position where you are in the big leagues and you're doing these big things, it's the perfect opportunity to utilize your reach and experience and impact, bring other people up. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like that's actually the good part. I kind of work backwards when it comes to that. So the bigger I get, the even more I want to help because I'm in position to. Whereas if you're not in a position to help, it's gonna make me work harder simply so I can give it back. You understand what I'm saying? Because for me personally, I don't need much. Like I'm already a happy person, not because of what I have, but simply because of who I am. I value who I am as a person, and I value my relationship with God. And because of those points, it allows me to be great in everything that I do. But that greatness is shown between people that I encounter. So it's different with me, completely different. So yeah.
I hear you, man. Go ahead, Jay. Take it away, man. That's JayTech, man. JayTech right there. You run the show.
JayTech in the building. What up?
What's up, man? I appreciate you. I've been following your career for a long time. I'm a big advocate. I got my start here on YouTube, this channel. In 2006, I made my account. I started making videos in 2008. I ended up having to fall back to this channel when my main channel got flagged down. But I started this channel, this one right here, with PlayStation Home, doing walkthroughs on there. Yep, and I remember getting your shirt with the belt.
With the belt.
Yep, and because those are my favorite colors, red and black. That's my favorite colors, man. So I will wear that shit around PlayStation Home a lot. I still got all my videos up, man. So I've been following your career for a long time. You know, even when the PlayStation Move came out, you know, I saw your reviews for that. So you know, thank you for showing up, man. Thank you so much.
No doubt, man. Thanks for having me. I appreciate the love on that. Real talk.
No problem. It was a big week. It was a lot of stuff that happened, and we all as human beings always have a time period where we love. Some of the older generations, they look back on the 60s and 70s. I believe our generation, we look back on the late 80s and the 90s, and maybe the early 2000s. And as far as gaming is concerned, and I just want everybody to be competitive. It is fun. Okay, the console war is not real, I know, but it is fun. To bicker and argue and just see other people do good and outdo themselves. Seeing over the last 4 years, it's like Sony developers playfully outdoing each other it's a great thing. It's a great time to be a gamer. If you have a PlayStation 4, you know, you're getting better and better experiences. But I do want Microsoft to do good. And, you know, Nintendo's on their own boat, but they are on some good shit. You know, like Zelda.
Yeah, they doing good.
You know, Mario, and then what they did, you know, and you know, no hard feelings. I was an adopter of the Vita. What they did, where they made a Vita style system.
What's up, fellas? What's going on, man?
What's going on?
What's up, Jack?
Hip Hop Gamer, Big Money, JayTech.
Big Money in the building. What's going on, baby? What's poppin', son?
You still winning the championships, Hip Hop Gamer? You still winning the championships?
Hey, man, that never stops, son. That never stops, kid. Word
That's
up.
what's up, man.
Yep.
I seen your live TV show where you was in that restaurant talking about what's better. I was laughing at that, boy.
Oh yep. Yeah, man. I'm just having a good time right now, man. Well, I ain't mean to cut in, but I know JayTech was saying some stuff. But yo, Big Money, welcome, man. It's good to talk to you, bro.
Damn, you been talking to this Big Money right here, bro.
That's J Love, man. It's gonna
That's
get
J Love, man. That's J Love. That's Big Money. Hey, you good?
I'm sorry.
You good?
That's what I meant.
I gotta figure you figure out who I was at first. You ain't figure out who I was. I think you like who this nigga is right here. Who this nigga is right here? Nah, this Big Money right here, bro. Yeah, this Big Money. I've been here. Yeah, man. That's me. That's me. I think you gotta get used to the boys. You gotta get used to the boys.
Cool.
Yeah.
Nah, I got you.
No, go ahead,
JayTech and Big Money, the truth, man. They're the truth for these YouTube streets. Hip Hop Gamer, Big Money, and JayTech. They're the truth for these YouTube streets.
I don't know about all that, but thank you.
Nah, yo, you the truth. You the truth. Own it. You know what I'm saying?
But yeah, J Love. I was talking about competition and how friendly competition is definitely healthy. And I see that Nintendo is doing their shit, you know, where something like a Vita, which was good for I believe was good for the ecosystem of gaming. It didn't catch fire, but Nintendo carried that torch and they did something good with that type of concept. So you gotta give them credit. And then you have, you know, Sony just pushing the envelope every fucking year. It's like you had Horizon, but before that you had Bloodborne, and now you have Spider-Man and God of War released in the same damn year last year. You had a game as open and as Days Gone. You know, it's already got greenlit. I know people heard their next project is greenlit. That's big. That means Days Gone did what it was supposed to do.
Jay, you gotta remember, but you gotta remember, Jay, like I was y'all last week, man, there was no such thing as competition. I don't know why people keep saying there was competition. There was no competition, man. There was no such thing as that.
Yeah, but I'm talking about Yeah, I'm talking about. I want there to be competition again. You see what I'm saying? I know that this generation there has not been any, but there was some sort of competition last year because last gen because PlayStation had to come back from where they were. If not, it would have been a complete failure. And they did a damn good job. And there was about about 3 years compared to the whole gen where the PS3 and the Xbox 360 were going head to head, and then of course towards the end, the Xbox lost steam, and Microsoft was looking towards the future, and they just gave up. They weren't as focused. They didn't put a lot of effort in their games. And what's sad is that that type of mentality carried on over to this generation in a very bad way, because they kept that type of mood all gen. That they didn't really care about the quality of games they were putting out. And it's like they just wanted to force this. Is somebody in a car?
Yeah, that's me.
Yeah, it sounds like somebody driving in their car. The
Okay,
echo.
that's J Lo. But yeah,
I think
long
that's
story
you,
short,
J-Lo.
it's like Microsoft just didn't care, and it's like, hey, I know some people are like, oh, they shouldn't care about the consumers. They don't know us, and they're just making games. They're just trying to make money. Yeah, that's cool. Sometimes they pretend to know us. Sometimes they do know us, and they care. They have to give a fuck enough, right, for us to buy their fucking product. And I feel that this generation, Microsoft didn't even pretend to care enough for people to buy their product, especially when they got in that part where they didn't see that they can really form any type of competition, that they started giving their games away to the PC platform, which, of course, in any real world, maybe it would have doubled their sales. But this generation of the PC gamers, they are a lot younger and they don't have money. So I think it was probably the worst thing Microsoft could have ever done to put their games on the PC platform this generation. And it's like it was so random. You know what I'm saying? It's like you go 2 generations with exclusives, and now you say, well, they didn't say it in so many words. We're getting our ass beat by PlayStation so much. We just want to try to make as much money as we can before this generation ends. And it's like they just didn't. And then they went real desperate and they started giving their games away for $1 with Game Pass or some shit like that. So it's like,
well, can I interject?
Oh yeah,
can I interject
no
on
problem.
That? All right. So from a business standpoint, on the back end, I look at it completely different. So the thing is, when you got to understand that times period is changing. You know what I mean? Simply because of technology. And when technology change, if you don't make adjustments, you get left behind like a Nintendo. Because, like, for example, think about this, right? I'm gonna make 3 points. First point, you look at Nintendo. There's never been a generation of Nintendo that we didn't see a Mario, that we didn't see a Legend of Zelda. So the thing is, with Nintendo, they live more off of nostalgia as opposed to brand new creativity, like within their franchises. Now, what I love about Nintendo is that you got the Wii U, you got the Switch. They doing different things with the actual platform. That's amazing. I love that because that's where the innovation is. But in terms of just brand new game IPs, one of the biggest differences between Nintendo and a Sony is Sony, they could go a whole generation without a Killzone. They could go a whole generation without a Motorstorm. They could go a whole generation without like certain games because they're always creating new experiences and new franchises and new characters for you to love so that they can always live on. And that right there is hard, but it's a skill set in terms of being able to do that. The way that relates to Microsoft is similar to Nintendo in that space in terms of Halo and Gears is like our lifeline. You know what I'm saying? Like Halo, Gears, and Forza is like the triple threat of Microsoft, and it's been that way for a long time. So going into the space that of their games being on PC, Microsoft already dominates the PC market because of their software, Windows. Yeah. Everybody uses Windows. So if I'm dominating in PC, why not take Xbox beyond just being a console that you buy, but also a brand across the board that everyone can experience? What that does is it gives them more market share. Now, think about it like this, right? Imagine being able to play Xbox games on your PlayStation. Imagine being able to play your Xbox games on a Nintendo platform. Now, for a lot of people, that's like, like what fanboys are seeing the competition, they'll look at it as a desperation move from Xbox because they can't do things on their own. But from a business standpoint, you just made your brand 100% accessible to any and every gamer, which means that you own the market share of all gamers. And in a competitive nature, it's all about market share. And that's the way Xbox wins. So technically, if PlayStation is PlayStation, Nintendo is Nintendo. If I could get Xbox everywhere, then Xbox wins from a brand standpoint, because no matter where you go, I can get it.
Okay, now let me ask,
if you understand what I'm saying, I'm talking about from a business standpoint. We all know PlayStation.
I understand what you're saying from a business standpoint, but and the only thing I would say is that if you're gonna put it over there, and let's take out Game Pass because it is very, very easy. I would say, as far as the independent games, like their digital games, putting them on Steam, the sales numbers from Gears just didn't justify it. You know what I'm saying? I know it's there. I know the brand is there. I know everybody know that it's on PC. But the people, I know they wanted some money from the PC gamers. You know, at least equal to that of how many digital or physical game sales Gears 5 generated. Of course, people took the easy route and they just went to Game Pass. But it's like, at a certain point, you do want to start giving some sort of confidence in your consumer and your, and all the investors that, hey, people are actually buying our game on that platform. And this was a good business move, but they can't actually produce those results. Again, this generation of the PC community, I can wholeheartedly say they are too young to buy games at full price. So they're not going to be able to get those double digits, right? They're not going to double dip. And if it's not a game they want, they're not going to buy it. It doesn't matter if it's on Game Pass. They are not going to put their money out and buy the game individually. So you're dealing with people that you think that market wants it because you might have saw it on the message boards, right, or a comment section, but you don't really know until the game comes out, and then it doesn't do as well. Again, Gears is a big title, right? And now it's not only on Xbox. This is a huge title on PC now. Halo, when it comes out, it's going to be a huge title, and it will also be on PC. These are huge, big titles. All I'm trying to figure out is why didn't it do good over there?
Let me feed up for hip hop for a minute, real quick. Hip hop. Let me say this: Nintendo and Sony's hardware company, so they're not gonna go and do software to services date and date like Microsoft was doing, because the fact is that Microsoft is not making money off of their software. If you see their software and hardware sales, they are really down. They ain't even crossing 50,000 a month in sales on the hardware. If you look at it, they're not even crossing 50,000 a month. Software is really down. It's down like dramatically. No games are selling. Yeah, so they got no choice but to go this route, and there's no guarantee that this is gonna work. There's no guarantee that this
the proof is in Clinton. Go ahead.
Wait, hold up. So let me ask you a question, right? So I think the first 3 days that Gears 5 dropped, they had 3 million or over 3 million players playing it.
Yeah, playing it.
Okay, how was that not successful?
That is very successful in the first 3 days.
Hip-hop. Let me say this right quick, Dave. Hip-hop. I just, this is my second Xbox, right? And
right.
The only reason I got it was to play their exclusives. But, this deal going on for $2 for 2 months. All my friends I know that's playing Gears right now, they did the same thing. And I will not lie to you, it's about 20 of them. Man, majority of those sales were on the $2 for 2 month thing. I'm right there, fam. I'm right there with you. Far as business wise, move business wise. But for your fans, I don't think this is the right thing for them to do as their fans. From the day, I think X said it best, man. It's like three things you need in this industry. It's your own console, first of all. Console. It's exclusive games. You need your exclusive games, man. I just don't see them selling anything past 50 million because I think they said they had like 46 million.
Yeah.
Right
Look,
now,
that's what I wanted to talk about. They're at 46.9 million, and only 0.3 of those people got an Xbox in Japan. Again, I understand what you're talking about. The brand, everybody knows Xbox, right? But not everybody's buying into it. Knowing and buying into it is two different things. You waste at a certain point. You're kind of wasting money. And I wanted to bring this up. Hold on, Big Money or J Love, whoever was gonna talk. Excuse me for just a little bit. Those numbers are great, right? 3 million people playing, but not 3 million people playing because they brought the game for $60. We're talking about 3 million people that brought a single player only game, which is Spider-Man or God of War, and now we're looking at this is a drop off. I want to let you know how big this drop off is. Gears 5 right now on Twitter right now. I'll refresh the page and it'll fluctuate, but as of right now, it's sitting at a solid 700. Right, Gears 5. That means there was a drop off after people experienced the campaign, played a little bit of multiplayer, and said, "I'm not going to continue to play Gears." Because I don't have access to it, or I don't want to continue to pay for the subscription that is Game Pass. Remember,
I'm one of those people.
It was a $1 promotion going on leading up to Gears, and during Gears it was with the $2 or $5 for the Ultimate Game Pass that included Gold. Now, Last of Us is an old ass game. It's sitting at 954 viewers. Bloodborne is old as fuck also. That's sitting at 1,008 viewers. This is the thing. Exclusives do carry weight, and you kind of diminish the charm of an exclusive. You kind of diminish the magic of an exclusive. Again, I play Mario all the time on Dreams, right? But I know the only place I can play the real Mario is on Nintendo. I can't fight that. You're right? I can't fight it. It doesn't matter how good the character model is on Dream, which is identical to the 64 moveset. But the other versions of Mario, whether it was Sunshine, Mario Sunshine, or Galaxy, or the new these are different versions of Mario that they have not did movesets for, and I would have to play those as well as the story and everything like that. So it's good for nostalgia to play a little bit of a Mario on Dreams, or get on Little Big Planet and play the 2-bit Mario a little bit. You know what I'm saying? But it's not. It only feels it for a little bit. I know. As a gamer, I do need a Switch. I need a Nintendo console to get that real experience. And it's like with Gears 5, it's not an emulation. You're really getting the real Gears 5 on a PC. You're not waiting for an emulator.
I'm the first person to tell you. Look, I play Gears 5 with the RTX 2080 Ti, bro. You know what I'm saying? My computer is ridiculous, son. So I'm gonna tell you, you don't need an Xbox because you can play all those games on PC. So you don't need an Xbox. But for those that can't afford, like a high level PC or whatever, then you have the option to get in the Xbox. What I'm trying to explain with Xbox in terms of the moves that they're making, they looking at it from more of a standpoint of just want people to play our games wherever games are at. And that's their mentality, and that's fine. Ain't nothing wrong with that. That's what they want, if that's what they want to do. All Xbox is doing is providing different options for you to get access to their games, whether that's a streaming service, a console, PC, PlayStation, or Nintendo. Wherever games can be played and experienced, mobile, whatever, Xbox wants to be there. And the reason why is because in the long run, not right now in terms of the very moment, but in the long run, if my brand and my experiences can be everywhere a gamer plays games, then in the end, that's where the highest level of value will always be. And that's their business model now as they go into new generations. And there's nothing wrong with that because that works for them. Now, we all know Microsoft is not able to compete Sony. Like, I know that they're getting all these studios right now, but it's not just about the studios. It's always about the talent. That's why you got Xbox One X. That's a more powerful system than PS4 Pro, but there's nothing on their console that's looking better than God of War or Spider-Man or Death Stranding or Last of Us 2, etc., etc. So Sony got the better development studios, the better development talent. You understand what I'm saying? The better marketing. Like, they got it all. So if you was to ask me what system is better, there's no question. PlayStation all day. I already had this argument like a couple of weeks ago with someone saying that Xbox was better. I'm like, you bugging. So I get it. But what I'm trying to say is, from a business standpoint, you have to understand what's coming 5-10 years down the road so you could be ready for it.
And look, I agree. My only gripe with this is the way that, let's say, a gamer or a fan or fanboy, whatever you call them. The thing is, it does look a little bit desperate because they didn't do this in the beginning. There was no real sign. I'm not saying it was a switch, but I am saying 1 year we didn't even get a rumor that this was possible, and then the next year we get an E3 announcement. We don't get a rumor, we get an E3 announcement. So it was kind of like it was an off and on switch, and I could understand how somebody could say this is a move of desperation when we kept looking at the NPD sales report month after month. I believe it was 2 or 3 years back to back where PlayStation had beat them 10 months out of a 12-month year span, which is, it's embarrassing in the United States, seeing how strong Xbox 360 was for hardware. So,
considering last generation to this generation.
Exactly.
I got you.
It looks a little bit desperate. It might not be what it is, but it just looks that way because this is something, like you said, you're supposed to be look 5 years ahead. If you would have started a generation off this way, right? I could understand that.
I could tell you exactly why this stuff happened, but I'll give you all the insight on why you see what's happening, and then I'm gonna give you insight on something else that nobody is talking about that's gonna happen in 3 to 5 years. So go ahead.
I'm done. You can give me that insight now. I'm ready.
Okay, now Big Money was about to say something though.
Go ahead, Jay. Jay, go ahead. Finish talking, Jay.
I'm done.
He ain't saying he was done, so I was gonna let you speak before I went.
No, go ahead. I want to hear what you got to say, man.
Just gonna talk about dreams. You can go.
I bet. So here's what it is, right? So now, and this is across the board with entertainment, right? So when Spotify came out, Netflix, like all of these entertainment platforms, not just gaming. I'm talking about entertainment across the board. There's case studies and focus groups all year round that's learning the data on how people behave and what they buy into and stuff like that. Subscription-based models has been something that game industry, period, has been looking at for a long period of time. So I'll give you an example. When PlayStation went free with PSN, but Xbox Live, you had to pay for it. That was the beginning of what you see happening right now. This was all part of the plan, even from the 360 era. That subscription-based experiences is going to be what people buy into. Now, you look at one of the reasons why so many people are cutting the cord with cable and stuff like that to go into Netflix, and now everybody got their own subscription model-based thing, because that's how people are. That's their behavior. They want everything from a subscription base because that's easier to buy into. Now think about it. Let's say you get a game, right? Not everybody is gonna have $60 to go buy a game, no matter how bad they want it. They may not have it, but I got $1 to have this experience. So what happens is, it's just like with Apple and with Android. Apple, being a proprietary company, with the way their technology works, Apple will sell something because they brand loyalty is crazy. Apple will sell something for like $2,000 for one phone, whereas with Android, for the same price, you'll probably get 2 or 3. So you'll get more people on the Android using the Android, although somebody may spend more on an Apple per product. So one is not wrong or whatever, but there is a clear difference. And the clear difference is more people are getting involved with one. So now if you look at, now check this out, PlayStation, right, in terms of like hardware sales, obviously they cross the 100 million mark and stuff like that. PlayStation right now, what is PlayStation now? A subscription service. What is PlayStation View? A subscription service. What did we just see? God of War. If you don't got God of War, you don't have to spend $60 for it right now. You could just you could do a free trial of PlayStation Now and play the entire God of War game right now. Oh, what I'm trying to tell.
But hip hop, what does that tell you about?
So let me tell you what it tells me.
What does that tell you when you compare Android to Apple? Apple, you got quality, and you got a good phone, a great phone, as opposed to a phone that is all over the saturating the place that is not good quality. As far as streaming,
so you mean to tell me that the S Note 10 Plus ain't good quality? Are you crazy?
No. But if you compare,
I think you talk about like the lower level of Android.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like Android operating system is on a lot of phones.
I have a note. But what I'm saying is that you compare a streaming service to hardware, where you stream at 720p lagging, and not everybody around the world has off the hook internet. You know, we're talking about
comparing that. I'm not comparing the streaming services. Let me explain something to you. With PlayStation Now, you could download your games. You could download PS4 games on your PlayStation 4 with the PlayStation Now subscription. You don't have to stream that.
Yeah, you
could download.
Yeah, I think what you're talking, he's talking about, like, let's say if you don't have a PS4, right, and you have the PC, or you're trying to test the game out and play it on PC, right? Not everybody's internet connection. It doesn't even matter PC because it's a streaming service, but not their internet connection isn't perfect enough to give you the perfect quality. And this is one thing I wanted to talk about.
But I'm not talking about that.
But you know how much it's gonna cost, and you know how much it's gonna to run the games at 4K native on streaming to look like how I got on my TV. That's gonna be crazy.
You don't have to stream on PlayStation Now. It's an option. You don't have to. That's what I'm trying to tell you.
Yeah. No, I know. Look, I know what you're saying, Hip Hop, and I know what you're saying, J Love. Basically, it's a little bit confusing. What he's saying is, as far as J Love, he's saying you don't have to stream on the PS4. You have the option to just do PlayStation Now, not buy the game and experience it as well as download it, which means we get the better version, right? Now, what J Love is saying is that if you're not on PlayStation 4, right, and you're going to support PlayStation Now, you are going to have to worry about how good the quality is going to be. And this, I just want to point this out, as far as God of War, the game in question, I don't see anybody streaming it on PC being able to fight the Queen of Valkyries and win with any just little remote of lag. You see what I'm saying? Right. You need to be spot
that wasn't the reason why I brought that up.
I know why you brought it up.
That has nothing to do with the point I was making.
Yeah, I know why I know the point. I'm just clearing it up. Okay. That's what J Love was trying to say.
Yeah, of course you're right. I'm not talking about that. The point I was trying to bring up is the Xbox Game Pass, $1 to join and $2 to join. That's not an act of desperation. That's an act of understanding the data on what people are going to buy into. Because let me tell you what happened with that. With using that strategy of $1 or $2 to buy into Xbox Game Pass, that rose awareness of like 40% of all the other games that's on Xbox Game Pass. The discoverability, because people was able to play them. That right there made people understand that, oh shoot, there's a whole lot of other games I could play too that they probably never would have played or paid for. Through this Xbox Game Pass, they was able to discover other games that they wind up liking, and they're playing more games. So the goal is, how do I get gamers to play more games? For example, let's say you got somebody that's a Call of Duty head. and all they do is play Call of Duty, or you got somebody that's a 2K head and all they play is 2K. I create a system or I create a situation that will broaden their horizon to other games, and it doesn't cost anything extra or whatever, or the cost to do it is dirt cheap. Now they're learning about new games. So you know what you're doing? You're creating new fans to new games that you want to make and sell to, which means more money, more experiences, and more investments on the back end. You understand what I'm saying? Like, you have to understand the strategy.
I understand what you're saying, and I hope everybody understands. Basically, you can't get the best experience doing it, but you're going to get a taste, and it's going to make you want to go where you can actually get that experience. You get what I'm saying? So it's like you're going to get a taste of God of War streaming it, right? But you're not getting the best. You know where you have to get the best. Come January 2nd, when God of War and Uncharted 4, Grand Theft Auto 5, and what's the other game? Infamous Second Son. When they take that taste off of the streaming service for PS4,
gotta go back to PS4.
You have to go back to PS4. So I understand what you're saying, and I like the way that Sony's doing. Okay, now I hope nobody get pissed off. It is marketing 101, and it is. I think it's better. It's a better way to do it than what Xbox did it. You know, like I said, they're doing a good job and they're making their money, but it's like you do need to go buy that hardware to experience that with PlayStation. And you don't need to wait.
Go ahead, Jay.
I was saying you don't have to wait. Like, it's not day and date releases for PlayStation. Xbox is the only one doing day and date.
And that right there is very valuable. Like the Outer Worlds. That joint is about to come out. If you can't afford to spend $60 to get the Outer Worlds, you got your Game Pass. Boom. Now, also, here's something I want to bring to your attention, right? Mm-hmm. I'm not mistaken. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think Xbox Game Pass is $100 a year. Right?
I don't really know. How much is it?
I think it's 100.
I don't follow Xbox.
Is how much? What is a year?
I think it's $99 a year, if I'm not mistaken. I think a 12-month Xbox Game Pass is $100.
Oh. Yeah, but you gotta have something. You gotta have something worth playing, or have somebody subscribe. No.
He's trying to make a point, J-Law, because
here's the point I'm trying to make. Here's the point I'm trying to make. Right? Say, just hypothetically speaking, let's say you have 1 million people, right? That's spending $100 a year for a service. And they're able to play over 100 games all the time, a month. Instead of now, think about it. Now, think about this in terms of value. The way things is changing. If I was to buy 3 video games, that's already $180 a year from buying 3 video games at $60 a pop. But if you're gonna give me access to not just older games, but brand new games, day and date, for $100 a year, the value for the consumer is tremendously higher. And 2, in the long run, you'll actually wind up making a lot more money because it's the collective of people that will buy into it. Because I would rather, as a business, I would rather have 100 people spend $100 a year than to have like 20 people just spend $180 and just experience 3 different games. Because at the end of the day, I may have made like more money per sale of a game. The other way, I'm getting consistent residual subscription model payments. The user is getting more games to experience than just the 3 that they paid for out of pocket outside of the subscription. And it's not that you have to stream it. You can actually play those on your Xbox or your PC, and you could download them straight to the system and stream them like you would anything else. So when you look at it from that standpoint, anytime you have a business model that's benefiting the consumer in a high level, you have a win-win-win situation. And that's why Xbox Game Pass exists. Because 5 to 10 years from now, this is going to be the norm. In terms of what Xbox Game Pass is doing right now, will eventually become the norm on how we consume our games. So don't think that this is just happening as a coincidence, because all the companies work together. Like, regardless of who's competing, Nintendo, Sony, Microsoft, Google, they all work together. You want to know how I know this? Because I've been in rooms hanging out with all of them, having these type of conversations I'm having y'all right now, and they all talk about how they got to work together to get the most out of what they delivering. This is real facts, like I'm telling you.
Fam, I'm feeling you on that, but the thing is, man, I don't think that's what the consumers want. That's what the companies want.
Right.
And I know that the bottom line is their very existence is to get every last penny out of your pocket. Just like you walk into a casino, they want every last dime that's in your pocket. The thing is, the difference between the two, man, they should be thinking about the consumer. I don't think Xbox is thinking about the consumer. And the proof is in the pudding, man. Listen, Xbox, they're taking their games and they putting it on everything, but they still want you to buy you're confusing your own fans. On Xbox
say that last part again. You said they want you to buy what?
They want you to buy their box, but they still putting their games. They want you to buy the Xbox, but they're putting all of their games on other systems.
So my question to you is, how is that not helpful to the consumer? I'll give you an example. If I, right now, me, hip hop gamer, if I see a commercial on Halo, right, and I'm like, yo, this joint is fire, I want to get it. Now, if there's an option for me to play it on PC, and there's an option for me to play it on console, how is that not helpful to the consumer? Because one is a cheaper option for the average person to get into, when one is another option that the average person can't get into. Like, my PC that I got right now is a $4,000 PC. The Xbox you could get for like $300-400. So if I wasn't thinking about the consumer, I would just give you the PC option as the only option, so that now if you ain't got $4,000 or a certain amount of money, you can't play. That's a disservice to the consumer. If I'm giving you options, especially with the games, if I told you, big money, I'm gonna ask you this: if you only got $20 in your pocket, right, but you want to play the latest game costs $60. Now, most times, if you ain't got $60, you ain't playing this game. But if I tell you, look, you don't got $60, that's cool. For $1, play it right now. For $1. How is that not helpful to the consumer?
Because look, if it was helpful to the consumer, it would be more people buying Xboxes. You know what I'm saying? Look where they at. If you listen, you take Xbox, right? They're doing their thing. They're at an all-time low. In 5 years, they sold 46 million.
It's 6 years. It's been 6 years.
Doubling.
Yeah.
They're doubling, but they're doing their own thing by selling exclusive.
All
the
I'm
only
gonna
way
say,
we got to 100.
Big money. All I'm gonna say right now is.
But how is that a disservice? But what I don't understand is, I'm trying to understand your point about when you say, what is Xbox doing that is a disservice to the consumer?
They're not satisfying their consumers, man.
With the
quality,
let me say it's the quality of the games.
What are you not satisfied by? Like, see, I need to understand this step by step. So, what are you not satisfied by with Xbox?
The game.
Listen, your fans. That's just like listen. I think my man, Sick Humor said it best, man. That's just like if you go to McDonald's, right? You're not gonna go to McDonald's and buy $1 Burger King burger. You're not gonna buy that over there. You want your own thing, and you want them to have their own thing. That's what their fans want. Their fans want their own thing. If you just don't listen, if you want to sell all your games everywhere, just do it on an app or something. Why have the Xbox? That's where fans are confused at. I think that's where fans are confused.
What you're saying is, correct me if I'm wrong, So what you're saying is, why is Gears on PC? Why is Halo on PC? Why doesn't it just stay on Xbox? Is that what you're saying?
Exactly.
Okay, so my point to so my point to you is, why do you care where Halo or Gears can be played at? If you want to play Halo on Xbox, you can. So why is it a problem for someone to play Halo on PC? Like, how does that affect you personally?
It's about competition. It's about competition. You would tell me, hip hop gamer, you tell me you wouldn't mind playing The Last of Us 2 on an Xbox? You wouldn't mind doing that?
No, I wouldn't mind. No, I wouldn't mind because listen. The reason why I wouldn't mind, because if I want to play Last of Us on PlayStation, if Last of Us is on Xbox, it doesn't hurt. It doesn't stop me from playing it on PlayStation. Like, I don't, you know what I'm saying? Like, why would I care about how somebody else experienced their game?
Because
like, it doesn't matter to me. If God,
somebody, you hear that? I'm sorry about, man. You hear that, bro? It's like,
it's Eddie. Just mute Eddie.
It
was Eddie. It's Eddie.
Let me ask you, hip hop.
Eddie, you got a bad connection, bro. Your thing is like.
Do you think? How much you think it costs to make God of War Last of Us? You think these are expensive games to make? How much you think?
How much I think? What the overall budget would be to make it, or the overall budget to be to market it, make it, put it out,
all of it,
like
all that. How much you think these games are? You think they cheap?
Oh, of course they're not cheap, man. Like at minimum, you're probably talking 30 mil.
Right. So when these games like God of War, from what I think the last check, it was like 100 mil something to make, right? You think?
I think the game that was like 100 mil to make it so like that. The last one was, I think, either Destiny or Red Dead Redemption 2.
God of War. I think the new God of War made that.
No. The new one didn't take that much, man.
Nowadays. I think he's trying to say what AAA games are cost to make. Basically, like if I spend $100 million, I'm spending $100 million, right?
Hello?
I'm spending $100 million of my money. Put it on my competition. This is their competition. They're trying to beat each other. That's not what Microsoft. It's like they doing it and they're not doing it. That's what I'm saying. It's confusing to me. Not to you, not to anybody else, just to me as a fan and many of my friends. It's confusing to us. What is Microsoft trying to do? Because to tell you the truth, bro, if they wouldn't have messed up in the first end of this generation, I truly don't believe they wouldn't have went down this path. I'm not saying this is a desperation move. I really don't think it's a desperation move, but I don't think this is a move that benefits the gaming community as a whole, because like it, you can like it or love it, but there is a Nintendo crowd, there is a Sony crowd, and there is an Xbox crowd. The Xbox crowd been crying for years. Where are our games? Where are our games? They don't even give them games in the beginning. You want me to buy, first of all, you want me to buy a $300, $400, $500 box that don't have any games to it. On top of that, the games that I do have, you putting it on you putting on your competitors. These are your competitors. You putting it on their platform. So why should I buy your console? Why should I spend $300 when I can spend $2 on the PC or $10 on the PC? But you still want me. That's why I say, are we confused? Like, what do you want us to do? You want me to buy your console, but at the same time, you taking all our exclusives and putting them on other platforms. Why should I? Give me a reason to buy your platform. You selling this, right?
Look, I agree with that. So here's what I would say. Two things. One, you can't play Gears of War on PlayStation or Nintendo. You can't play Forza on PlayStation or Nintendo. You can't
right now. You're right about that.
I'm talking about, like, as of right now, you can.
Mm-hmm.
So my thing is, as of right now, with your statement, you can play games on Xbox or you can play them on PC. PC is still Microsoft land. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's all Microsoft. So at the end of the day, that's still something that y'all have that's not on your direct rivals, which is PlayStation and Nintendo. So that's the first thing. Second thing is, to me, what it sounds like, and correct me if I'm wrong, what it sounds like is Sony is kicking y'all ass and you mad. Like, word up. That's what it is. Like, Sony is bodying y'all and you mad, son. That's what it sounds like, son.
All I'm gonna say.
Don't get me wrong now, fam. I'm a Sony guy through and through, but I'm a gamer first. Yeah. I'm a gamer first.
All right.
I got a PlayStation. Right. I got a PlayStation not because it was Sony. You heard me?
Go ahead.
I think a lot of people got a PlayStation not just because it was Sony. I get that all the time for all the years I've been here on YouTube. Oh, you're a Sony fanboy. I tell people, don't do that. Call me a PlayStation gamer. I don't follow Sony. I don't have a Sony phone. The person I followed the most, let's be honest, was Samsung. I had a Samsung camera back in the day. I had multiple Samsung Galaxy phones. I just, moved over to Hawaii because they do have some good phones. I don't give a fuck. It's cheap and it's affordable and they do what I needed to do. And
that's what that matters.
My first TV was an Element. When the PS3 came out, my first TV was an Element off-brand HD TV. Couldn't even handle Killzone 2. Ended up fucking up from the inside. I had to go get my money back at Macy's, go to Virginia, go to a Walmart and get a $600 Sony Bravia. And it was able to handle that PS3 and I called it even. I was like, hey, you can handle it? I'm keeping you. Then the smart TVs came out. I went back to Samsung. I had 2 different Samsung TVs. Then I came back to Sony with the 4K. I go where I need to go to get that quality. And I think what Big Money is saying is, it's a little confusing. Whether the game is big or the game is small. These were from your studios. And the normal, right? The normal. When Nintendo makes Mario, you can't play it nowhere else. Not even on the PC, right? And I think that it is a little bit confusing. And this is what I was talking to you about a little bit earlier. I'd rather them start the generation that way. Because some of the diehard, if you will call them fanboys, diehard Xbox fanboys, they felt a little betrayed. They were tribal, right? They were very tribal about the system that they love. And it was weird when they were on the internet trying to be fanboys and E3, I think E3 2016 came up.
Right.
And they said, hey, Xbox Game Anywhere. And then this year, I believe, they was like, well, we got to move past that. Because, again, and I'm being honest, I see the statistics and I see where the gamers are. They were not buying their games on the Windows Store. The PC fans they like the Steam Store. They were not going to buy it on the Windows Store. And Microsoft gave in multiple occasions where they put Quantum Break from the Windows Store to Steam. Or Rise from the Windows Store to Steam.
Yep.
And it kept happening. Until this year at E3, they said, well, fuck it. We're bringing all the games to Steam, and you got Game Pass, too. Let's see if you got to buy, if you got to support us. And again, there's no, I want Big Money and I want J Love to understand, there's no lose in this for Microsoft. Not, I don't,
No. You, Jay, like.
Oh, I know what you're saying. I know what you're saying. Microsoft is different from the games division at Xbox, right? But we got to be honest. They was getting their ass beat by the PlayStation game division all generation.
Yeah,
and they had to do this to make that money. They don't want to lose money for big.
This is the only choice that they had. But see, that's where they went wrong. I think, first of all, I believe, this is just what I believe, man. When every time one of these companies start a new generation, they have a roadmap. They have like a 5-6 year roadmap of what they're going to do throughout that generation. And the first thing that Microsoft did, they didn't plan on this happening this early. Usually you can cover little shit up, like when the 360 got hot, the red ring of death, you usually can. They couldn't fix this. So they decided to reverse everything that they was going to do because they know they screwed up. Had to throw away that roadmap, that 6-year roadmap. They had to throw it away and start from scratch. That's why they picking up. How can you be on your, what is this, Xbox, your 4th console, right? You going on your 4th console and you just not buying studios? They reinvested. Man, it's almost like they doing a reverse Jedi mind trick on their fans. How can you do that?
Well, I'm gonna explain something to you, Big Money, and this is where Microsoft messes up at. And here's where, I agree with you wholeheartedly. So, a lot of times, and this is the way Microsoft operates. Is I don't get it either because they should have been known better, but they don't. So, Microsoft, plenty of times, especially during the 360 era, they had opportunities to acquire a lot of studios and do a lot of things that Sony has been doing since 1994 when they first came onto the scene. Sony been gathering up studios since the beginning, since they started. So with Microsoft is a wait and see type of company. And the reason why is because they have more money than everybody. So they felt that because they have more money than everybody, they could buy their way to success the moment they see something else is successful. Then over time, it took a long time, but over time, they realized that in order to be successful in this space, gaming, they have to be self-starters. You know what I'm saying? They got to jumpstart. They got to take the lead. They got to take risk. They got to risk, failing enough in order to win. Like you have to do that. So now, out of all this time, they starting to do things that they should have done generations ago. But that's another reason why you see Mixer. I'm saying, like, Microsoft is normally the type of company that would have just brought Twitch, like what Amazon did. But instead of doing that, let's just create our own stream, create our own thing, because now they're more focused on community and culture and things like that. So when you see Xbox Game Pass, it's more of a play to say, you know what? Not every gamer is going to be able to spend $60 out the gate to get the latest and greatest new games. Want to know why? Because most gamers, and you can look at the facts and the studies on the ESA, the average gamer is 36 years old, right? Which means that a lot of these kids is not the ones buying the games. It's people my age, our age, 36 years old.
I'm right there with you. Right there with you.
Those are the average gamer that buys games is 36 years old. So the point I'm trying to say is a lot of people that want to play games and buy games, anytime you make the barrier of entry easier for people to get involved, that's going to be what's going to be the game changer. So think about it. Let's say you got a party, right? And let's say your party costs $60 to get into, but then somebody else got a party going on. Their party is popping. It only costs $1 to get into.
But
I'm not saying nobody's gonna show up to the $60 party.
Come on, but then you make
people showing up to that $1 party.
Nah.
Bro, you making these things where and black people, we going for the cheap shit. We gonna buy the cheap shit.
All right.
Everybody gonna buy the cheap shit. We gonna buy the cheap shit.
Yeah. So the point I'm trying to say, with Xbox Game Pass, and I'm gonna use the Outer Worlds because that's something that's about to come out. The Outer Worlds, you can literally start playing that game for $1. Period. Nobody can tell me nothing in terms of consumer this or consumer that. Because if you telling me I could play a brand new day and date game, $1, ain't nothing you can tell me. So like that right there, I think is smart if you're in a position to offer that. And when you spend $1, now think about it. When you spend $1 to play Outer Worlds, if for this either a 7-day trial or the first month or whatever it is, after I play Outer Worlds, I'm gonna play Gears. After I play Gears, I'm gonna play Ori and the Blind Forest. After I play that, I'm gonna play this and play that, and maybe try some games that I never played before. Then I'm gonna be like, yo, this server is dope. Let me keep it. And then now that I kept it, just like if you walking down a block and somebody got some food that you could taste test, so you could go inside the restaurant and experience everything. If you taste a piece of steak and it tastes good, and I go into the store and get the whole steak and I'm good, I'm gonna put mad people on like, yo, this is a spot to go to, son. This joint is fire.
You know what?
That's how
that
things be.
shit is fucking. That's smart. Again, for what Sony is doing.
People are not going.
Hold on, big money. Hear me out.
I'm sorry.
It's very smart for what Sony is doing. They are doing exactly what you said. But again, Microsoft is not that way. They're not giving real incentive to go buy a Xbox. As many people for the last 5 years I've saw on the internet claiming that they're building a PC, there actually are people with a PC that can run some of these games. I don't believe there's like the whole PC community can run these games at the settings that they brag about, but I believe there's more than they were in 2013.
Oh yeah. More
Again, that means that there's nobody really with the incentive to go out and buy a $300 or $400 Xbox system to play those games at full price, because you do get the full game. You know, there's not no streaming in it. It's Game Pass. You get to download that and play it.
So, all right, my question to you. Question to everybody in the chat right now. Question to everybody on the show, right? Mm-hmm. I'm not going to say Xbox. I'm not going to say PlayStation. I'm not going to put a name on it. What I'm going to say is this. If you have System A and you got System B, if System A says, hey, my system costs $300, and the latest and greatest games that's coming out, all you gotta do is pay $1 to start playing them, and you got them, and you good. System B, $300. We got the latest and greatest games, but the moment you buy this system, you gotta spend $60 to play one of those games. Where the other system, like I said, you can spend $1 and you can play all of them. Like you can play 100 of them. And the other one, you spend $60 to play one of them. System A versus System B. Which system are you choosing?
Come on, man. No. Hold on.
That's a trick question, bro. That's a trick question.
I got a no. It ain't a trick question.
What you gonna do?
It's not a trick question. It's not a trick question at all. Let me do this. When you say System A and System B, you then have to tell me what is the content. What is the content that I'm getting? Because if you show me stuff like God of War, if you show me stuff like Horizon Zero Dawn, if you show me stuff like Spider-Man, and you tell me I can only play it in that place, but then I can go here and maybe play some games, some older AAA games, and then I can play whatever it is first party that this company is offering, I'm probably not gonna choose the one for $1 because content is king. Content is king. So I want to go for what looks the best.
Right.
So let me ask you this, right? So if you look at Gears of War, if you look at Forza, if you look at
that's all they got.
That's all they got. No.
Say it again.
You mentioned that to goddamn thing. That's it. That's all they got.
I can't even hear you, bro. You cut in and out. Like what you said?
I said that's all they got, fam. That's all they got. Them two games right there, bro. That's all they got.
Yeah, Gears, Halo, Forza, like that's the main things. I'm agreeing with you. Like you know what I'm saying? Like I said, you already know me. PlayStation kills Xbox every day. You know what I'm saying? But like I said, now on System A and stuff like that, like I said before, you got games. If you want to talk about it from that standpoint, in terms of the 60 and the $1 and stuff like that. On System A, you got Red Dead Redemption, you got Call of Duty, like you got all those games too. Like you got all of those games that you can play on System A, just like you can play on System B. So now my question to you, now this is going to be the killer. This is going to be the killer. If you're asking me, God of War alone trumps everything. Like you know what I'm saying? What you say, God of War, that's it. Like ain't nothing else to talk about for me.
Now look beyond that.
But reason why the reason why I came up with the System A, System B thing is because of value. So my thing is, if you value spending $60 for this particular game because you love that game so much more over spending $1 to play Gears of War and like other games. If that's the way you value it, then it doesn't matter if it's if it's Xbox Game Pass or whatever. It doesn't matter. It all comes down to the content, like my man said. And if it's all about content and stuff like that, then all these other conversations don't even matter. It's all about content if that's what we're talking about. And if it's all about content, PlayStation's going to win every time.
But it's always been about it's always been about content. That's why Game Pass doesn't make sense for other people, because if you want to look at it through those eyes, through the subscription service eyes, you can get access to over 800 games for $10 with PlayStation Now.
Exactly.
And with the PlayStation, you could download over 200 of those games. So now that just put the whole Game Pass thing to shame, pretty much. And then they're going to be rotating.
Bro, I'm with you.
Well, look, I wanted to talk about one thing. Sick Humor, you brought this up. Thank you for talking about that. It's obvious, but thanks for talking about it. When we started getting those sales numbers and those revenue numbers from PlayStation Now last year, remember, we was getting that shit last year when a lot of the PlayStation gaming community, myself included, I had tested out PlayStation Now. My videos are 5 years old now. My gameplay tests for PlayStation Now are 5 years old. So it was a long ass time ago. And I just didn't give a fuck about paying for it. Right? I only play PS3 titles on there if I remember that I still have it. I played it like last week or something like that. But the long end of it is you have all of the revenue that came out last year, where PlayStation Now was shitting on EA Access and shitting on Game Pass, and only this year,
52% of the market.
Exactly, and only this year. This is why we say it's a little bit desperate, Hip Hop Gamer. This is the year where they started the $1 promotions. They didn't have $1 promotions for Game Pass last year. They had $1 promotions.
But you have to understand that the next Xbox is coming out next year. If you're gonna start doing that, it's wise to start it now so it can already be in place day and date with the next Xbox. Think about it from this standpoint, right? When the next Xbox drop out the gate, imagine buying a brand new Xbox with Halo Infinite day and date. But if you couldn't afford to buy a whole bunch of games, but you got the Game Pass and just had access to the latest Xbox games on your Game Pass day and date, that's value right there. Because if you don't got the money to spend like how you would have to spend on the PlayStation side of things.
Look, this is everybody's right, and everybody's right. Yeah. Okay, you're right about this. You got a cheap option. You got a cheap option when you get it. You don't have to buy $60 games. You have Game Pass if you're already subscribed.
And to me,
but again, people are going to be looking at what content do you get later on down the line, and that might sway them towards the competitor system. I mean,
and here's the worst thing, Jay. Here's the thing, Hip Hop Gamer. Shout out to you, man. I always watch your content, bro. So nothing but love.
Wow,
and respect,
much love, man. God bless you, bro. I'm honored to be here, man. Thanks for having me, y'all.
For sure. When I listen to how much of a value Game Pass is, what's wrong with letting everybody play games everywhere? It's funny because it seems pro-consumer, and shout out to their PR department because they got people actually believing that. And then the bait and switch comes when they drop a game, which is a huge game like Gears, and then it's just littered with microtransactions. Campaign is like 4-5 hours. Everything is littered with microtransactions, and they're turning the microtransactions up as they go. So it's getting even worse over time. Now, this is the way that they're subsidizing this stuff, but that's not what people thinking. People thinking they're just doing this out of the goodness of their heart. No, they're not. This wouldn't even exist if they weren't in last place. So let's stop with this is good for everybody. They're doing this because they want everybody to be able to play wherever they want to play. That's not what it is at all. They're doing this because it was a last resort for them. They had to find a way to get people to play games. It's bad when you have to have to put something out there as a free trial. You have to put something out there for $1 in order for people to even look your way to try your service. Like, people already got the taste in their mouth that your games are not up to par.
Shit.
You have it in your mind that your games are not up to par. So you release all of them in this beta state, so then you can continue to grow upon this game as you go. So you're releasing the game you know is completely not finished. And boy, what a state Gears was in when it released.
Okay, so I have so here's what I want to say, right? Do you know that for a fact, or is that just what you think?
Oh, that's a fact.
Okay, so I want to answer. No.
What you think?
I know that for a fact. Here's the thing: believe it or not, I play everything. And second of all,
I got over 100,000 games, bro. Period.
Now, here's the question. Here's the question that I have for you: do you own an Xbox at this point?
Of course, I own everything. I always get everything.
And why?
Because I'm a gamer.
No. But why do you own this thing? Because see, I had to ask myself the same question as well. Because I was one of those people. I was one of those people who said, "Oh man, I'm gonna own everything." Blah 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 blah. And then I realized that Xbox wasn't offering me a thing, and I've never went a generation not owning everything.
Let me explain something to you, Sick. Like, I'm a journalist too. Say I'm a journalist, so I can't speak on something that I don't experience. Period. Because that's like saying.
So you bought it for your job then?
Huh?
You bought it for your job then?
Wait. Did I buy it for my job?
So you bought it for your job then?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. In terms of being able to
see, that's
tell people about the experience. Yeah,
that's a totally different conversation to be had then, because
but that's what I'm saying. When it comes, that's what I'm saying. When I understand from a consumer standpoint, I get things, but when it comes to me, I can only speak for me. So for me, the gamer, so I'm gonna get everything. I don't even honestly, I don't even use Xbox One X unless I'm playing Fight Night Champions. Really, to be honest with you, you know what I'm saying?
So you use it to play Xbox 360 games?
No, I just use it to really play Fight Night Champions because a lot of my Xbox 360 games I play on PC too.
Yeah, no, that's an Xbox 360 game.
Yeah. So for me, I know that, for example, like Red Dead Redemption 2, I know it's way better on Xbox One X than the PS4 Pro, but I was the one who broke the story that it was coming to PC. So I just waited for the PC version, and then when that come out, I'm gonna play it on PC because I got a PC that could do it. So, but anyway, the reason why I have every system is because I'm a gamer and I want to experience everything so I can be able to talk about it in a factual way. You know what I mean? So I can't talk about something that I haven't experienced. But yeah. So that's the reason why I have it. You know what I mean? Just want to make it clear. That's the reason why I have it. Now, 2, Xbox Game Pass. Now, the reason why I have Xbox Game Pass, once again, I want to be able to speak on the experience. Now, my experience with Xbox Game Pass is great. Like, it's a dope platform. My experience with PlayStation Now is great too. It's a dope platform. You know, I love it all. Now, let's break it down to what you were saying in terms of this being done out of desperation and stuff like that. So here's what I wanted to tell you, and this is from conversations that I had with Microsoft personally, but also conversations that I had with other companies that have nothing to do with Microsoft. So, 1, when you look at, and I said this earlier, but when you look at all the companies, entertainment, not just gaming, I'm talking about music companies, Netflix, everybody. They've been doing case studies on people's behavior and what they buy into and what they like, what they consume and everything. And to prove my point with this too, if you look at Ubisoft, right? A lot of times when they come out with their monthly infographics is to tell a story about how much time people are playing their games, what they're doing when they get them, conversations that they're having, etc., etc., etc. It's all data to create platforms for more people to get involved with gaming. Period. Point blank. So Xbox Game Pass, just like Netflix, just like PlayStation Now, just like all these things, it's all case studies that's been happening ever since Xbox Live started. So when Now, if you think about it, when PlayStation 2 was around, PlayStation 2 didn't have a service for networking. They just had that SOCOM, and they had the Final Fantasy joint with the hard drive, and when they was testing out the networking. When you look at Dreamcast, they had the 56K modem, and they was testing out networking, but it was never a service that you paid for. When they did all those tests, Xbox Live is born. Now, the reason why Xbox Live was born, because it's a Microsoft product. Microsoft been had gaming on PCs, and all they did was bring their PC experience to the console world back in 2001 with the OG Xbox. Xbox Live is born. It's killing everything. 360 come out. Xbox Live kills everything times a million. Then comes out, but it's free. Xbox Live is something that you got to pay for. What does that mean? People got accustomed to subscription-based experiences on a gaming platform. That's what Xbox brought to the gaming industry, along with the hard drive.
To your point. No. To your point, real quick. To your point, PlayStation was free, but people paid for Xbox Live, right? It offered the same thing, minus the party chat. Offered the same thing, right? But they paid for what they wanted, right? So why do you have to give away your games if people are willing to pay for a service that has nothing to do with the game?
Okay, so now this leads me to the next thing. When you look at Xbox Game Pass and PlayStation Now and even PlayStation View and like all this other stuff, when you have a subscription base, right? With what's the name? With Xbox Game Pass, you can still buy the games. They'll be cheaper if you buy them, as long as you're an Xbox Game Pass member. So you can still flat out buy the games if you want. But if you don't want to buy them, or you can't afford to buy them, you can still experience them through this option in terms of the subscription option. So
but does that make sense to you? I get it for $1. I can play the full
it makes sense.
game,
I'll tell you why it makes sense.
But I have the option to buy something that I've already played. Like that's nuts.
I'm gonna tell you why. It's just like with EA Origin Access. I have Origin Access right now, right? Now, let me tell you why this matters. Because Ubisoft, they got Uplay Plus. You got EA Access.
They just created that, but go ahead.
No, but listen, here's my point. What's happening in the industry is that instead of people buying individual games like we've been accustomed to for so many years, now it's going to be about who's buying whose subscription service. So now, instead of spending $60 for a game and you just go and play, let's say you want Uplay Plus. Let's say you want Xbox Game Pass. Let's say you want PlayStation Now. Let's say you want EA Origin Access. So every month, say you spending like $80 a month just to play all types of games and all this other stuff. Like, now it's going to be a battle of subscription services instead of just the traditional battle of just buying one game and that's it. That's why all these subscription services is coming out. So when people say Xbox Game Pass did it out of a last resort, it's not out of a last resort. You see it across the board where every company, they're coming out with subscription services. It's not a last resort. It's what people are accustomed to now. When you have Netflix,
so you agree they're conditioning people to not want to buy games on those platforms? Don't worry, this is all going somewhere. I'm just letting you talk. I don't want to interrupt you.
Yeah, they're conditioning people to get used to investing in services. They're not saying don't buy games like you used to, because within the same service, you can still buy games if you want. The option is still there. It just won't cost $60. It'll be a lot cheaper because you already brought into the service. The option is there.
They're devaluing their games.
No, I don't agree that they're devaluing their games. What I see them doing is that, look, there's so many people that's gonna buy $60 games because
like the 20 million that just bought Pokemon, like the 16 million that bought Uncharted, like the 20 million that bought Last of Us, like the 15 million that bought Spider-Man. All of that is, all of those are limited people. So you think services is the way to go?
No, I'm not saying services is the way to go. I'm saying that services as an option is good to have because options is just good to have. For example, if you're playing a game,
all
right?
options aren't good options because those options could lead to people not wanting to buy your games, which inevitably would be a detriment to your business.
Not true. I'll give you an example, right?
So why aren't people buying Xbox games then? I mean, they have the option, so why aren't they buying them?
It's up to them. It's what you deem as valuable. Like if I
exactly. So you agree that they're devaluing their games then?
No, I don't look at that as the value in the game.
So why aren't people buying them? They don't see the value in
them. I just said,
did you see where Gears of War charted? On MPDs? Now that's not me. That's not me making something up. That's an actual source.
Yeah, it was.
Did you see how much it sold on Steam?
It was bad. It was pretty bad.
Okay, so the point I'm trying to make is the value is more so people playing the game. So I'll give you an example. If I spent $1 and I'm playing your game, playing the game has a lot of value into it. From an investment standpoint, like everything is changing. Everything isn't as face value as it used to be. It's not like that anymore. Things are starting to change. So if I, for example, right, let's say I spent $1 to buy into the Xbox Game Pass, right, and I'm playing Gears of War like all day, every day. I love this game. Now I don't got $60 to pay for it, but I love the game and I'm playing it. The data of people playing it is going to make Microsoft even more money on the back end. Because there's newer ways to make money. That's like with Fortnite.
And what are those newer ways without actually selling the game or
the point is, so what I'm saying is Fortnite is a free game, yet it's the biggest game in the world. So
and it's the biggest game in the world because of microtransactions. So you're assuming hold on. So you're assuming that people can't buy the game. Because that's what you said. I don't want to misquote you. You said some people just can't afford to buy it.
I didn't say people can't buy the game. I always said that there's an option to do so.
No. I'm not talking about overall. You said people in general may not have the money to buy it. So this is a good option for them. Now, with Fortnite is free from the beginning, but you have to pay for everything else in it. So are you saying that it's okay and it's cool for them to litter the game with microtransactions because they're giving you a cheap point of entry?
Yes, Lord, it's fine. Mercy. I don't see no problem with that. I don't see no problem with that at all because it's all options. Like right now, right? For example, right? I'm on PC right now, right? I'm playing games on PC. I don't like mouse and keyboard. I don't use mouse and keyboard. I use controller on my PC when I'm playing games. So if I'm playing Call of Duty, Borderlands on PC, I'm using the controller, not a mouse and keyboard. Now, if PC only allowed for mouse and keyboard and you couldn't use controller on PC, then I wouldn't play PC games.
So
I would not be playing PC games at all.
Forget the game experience. Let's all just build our games around microtransactions and then offer them for cheap because we'll make the money on the back end. That worked well for Ghost Recon. That worked well for Gears 5 right now. That's working well for all of these games. You know, this is no, man. I can't agree with this. This is not good at all, bro. Like this is not good for gamers.
Gears. Let me ask you a question. Like, I played Gears 5 on PC. It was amazing, and I have to use no microtransactions at all. I just played the story. I loved it. I played some multiplayer, and I was good.
Right. So other people are subsidizing your experience then, because you're not buying the microtransactions, but other people who like the multiplayer and stuff like that, they are getting all of these microtransactions thrown in their face.
Okay, and you can buy them or you cannot. Like here's my thing.
But they're building the game around it, which is what I'm telling you. That's not that doesn't end with a great experience. You got people getting banned for 4 months from Gears multiplayer for dropping out. And then I mean, come on, man. No, dude.
No, but my question to you is when it comes to micro transactions, like for example, if I'm playing Fortnite and I want to buy a skin to make my character look a certain way, what's wrong with that? I'm just asking you, like, what's wrong with that?
So then you are okay. Because again, I'm not debating what you want to spend your money on. I'm telling you what I don't want to spend my money on. I don't want a game built around microtransactions, so that is now involved in the experience. What happened to just simply making a good game? Why is it that Nintendo don't have to litter their games with? Why don't Nintendo have to litter their games with microtransactions? And their games sell pretty much the most at this point.
Top price.
I'm talking about even old games like Zelda. Yeah. Why do PlayStation not have to litter their game with microtransactions? But in order to offer what you think is a consumer-friendly experience with Game Pass, in order to subsidize that, it's okay if they build their games around monetizing, with microtransactions and stuff like that. That's not good. That's not good. That's not gonna create a great experience for people.
Bro, what I'm trying to tell you, like I said, I can only speak for me. Now, I play Gears of War because I know you said there's microtransactions in Gears of War. Like, when I play Gears of War, I play the campaign and I play the multiplayer, and I have fun with both without spending no extra microtransaction money at all. I still got kills, I still had fun, and that was it. So to me, when I look at microtransactions, there, if you want, like, perfect example, Assassin's Creed, right? Assassin's Creed, they have time saver options where, like, instead of spending like an extra 2-3 hours going to different locations to loot and uncover stuff, if you don't got time to do that because you're working 2 jobs, whatever, you just want to play the game, then you can spend $20 on something that will save you time, and then you just go ahead and do it. If that's an option for you to do and you want to do it, I don't see that as a problem. It's not forced. You don't have to do it. It's just there. I don't understand why microtransactions bother someone if you don't need to buy them.
Why would they put a time saver in there if it wasn't designed to be a super duper grind fest? It's almost like it's like a stranger with candy to your kid. They're luring you in because, oh man, my life is so crazy that I can't sit down and play a game. Oh, I want to skip the game. I want to skip the game. That makes sense. That means they had to build this game to be that grindy grind fest in order to offer that time,
Right. But you got to consider all the gamers, right?
Okay with them destroying games in order to push monetization.
How are they destroying the game?
Clearly, it's an unnecessary grind.
Creed that had no problems.
Clearly, it's an unnecessary grind. They created the grind.
No. It's not. Like, it's not an unnecessary grind. I'm gonna tell you why. Who will sit up there and complain that, oh, this game just 4 hours, 5 hours, and then they put a grinding element that's gonna take that 4 to 5 hours and make it 14 to 15 hours, and then they get complaints about, oh, this game takes too long to do this, takes too long to do that. So either you want a quick game or you want a long game. Everybody complains about something. So because everybody has something to complain about, what fixes a lot of these complaints is options. Everybody plays differently.
So tell me this. Why don't they make it? Why don't they make it so that you could earn that time saver?
You can.
You can earn the time saver? You can earn the time saver.
Yeah, you can earn it. I'll give you an example what I mean. Like the time saver thing I talked about with Assassin's Creed. Mm-hmm. Let's say there's a special weapon in the game that you gotta beat like a certain monster in a side quest to get it. Or I can just buy it out right now and have it. Okay, I don't want to buy it out right now and have it. I want to go to that area and beat the monster to get that weapon. I can do that. It's all options. My question to you is, if I brought the time saver and you decided to go to the quest, how is that a problem when both of us are satisfied because of our play styles or the time that we have to play? Because you got a lot of people, right?
Hey, I'm sorry to interrupt. Magically, Colteastwood said he wants to show up, so I'm about to shoot him an invite. His shit's about to get crazy. I know he was watching. I know he was watching this shit. I know he was watching it. That's all I'm gonna say to you, Big Money.
He supposed to be here earlier. I hit him up earlier.
Fuck that shit. He backed out for a fucking reason. I'm gonna give him an invite and
Hey,
Sick Humor, I like this conversation though, Sick. This is a real good informative conversation. I appreciate it, bro.
Yeah. But hey, I stick with my guns, bro.
Right quick.
That's cool, and I'm sticking with my guns too. Options always win because let's say, like, you know what a lot of people tell me, Sick? Like, Call of Duty, right? A lot of people, they let's say they working like 2 jobs, or they got a job and they working like.
Then they shouldn't be playing games, man. They got better things to worry about, bro.
Hold on, listen.
Gaming
And they
isn't
got
for
like
them.
60 hours a week, but they love to play Call of Duty. So they don't got time to prestige as fast as somebody else. They got all the time in the world to do so. So if there's a way where I could spend $100 from the job that I work in order to get certain things that I would have had to spend 100 hours trying to get, so be it. Like, there's nothing
I mean,
wrong
I
with
get
that.
it. I get it. You bought into the whole pay for skipping the game thing. That's cool. I'm not gonna argue that.
No,
because
there's
it
nothing.
is
This is an option.
It is what it is. It is what it is. It's not how you play. It's not how you play. If you're paying to skip the game, why even buy a game to skip the game? You paying $60 to skip the game. That doesn't make sense.
Just say that's kind of diminishing the fun of like
that doesn't even make sense. None of that makes sense,
That's
dude.
to you.
I'm gonna pay to skip the game.
Look, that's
Not everybody's the same.
I just wanna interject a little bit. That's to me too, because I don't buy Assassin's Creed, right? Look, I don't do that. I don't support Ubisoft. I don't like them, but I love Greek mythology, right? And I'm a big fan of God of War, of course. So I said, let me give them a chance last year, and I got Odyssey, and they did shit purposely. Okay, this isn't just for Gears. This is a lot of people, and it was not fun. Adam knows it. Somatic knows it. My live stream viewers know it. When I played Assassin's Creed Odyssey, my very first Assassin's Creed to play on this YouTube channel or any other YouTube channel, first one to buy day one, and I brought the digital deluxe. It gave me the other Assassin's Creed for free and all the other expansions. I ended up deleting that shit after at least 2 months. Because when the chickens were leveling up, the same level as me, and they were purposely making the fucking game hard, that I would have to buy time savers. I would have to buy this map that would allow me to find the materials to continue building the boat stronger. They did shit in that game, literally to get more money out of me.
Dude.
So, and my point to you is.
Sick.
If
I think all this is unsustainable, man. All this services, Stadia, all this is gonna be unsustainable. You got all these streaming services, Ubisoft, it's all gonna collapse somewhere somehow. I'm telling you, man. Somebody's gonna fall.
If you look at NBA 2K,
somebody's gonna fall, man.
If you look at NBA 2K, right? NBA 2K, you could play the game in broadcast mode, or you could play the game with the 2K camera. Now, me personally, I hate the 2K camera. I don't love playing it like that. I like playing broadcast mode. But you couldn't play in broadcast mode. Like, if 2K only allowed for you to play with the 2K camera, I would never buy 2K until they change it. I just wouldn't play it because it's not fun for me. So my point in saying that is options is always important, because depending on the situation of a gamer and what they got going on in their life or whatever it is, determines what they play, how they play, and style of play. Style of play always matters. You know what I'm saying? So
you know what? That argument is going to go on like forever, man. Like I think it's a big majority of people that don't look at it like that. Hip hop gamer, like, I think majority of the people in here would love for games to be like it is. Give me my single player game. Give me my exclusive. Microtransactions in it. But I get.
What's wrong with options? That's my question. What's wrong with options? Because when they don't affect you.
When those options change the way games play, when those options change the way things are, when you have a situation like in Call of Duty where you can go and buy a gun that somebody else had to play viciously for, you know what I mean? That's that. Come on, man. Like,
and look, I can agree because Last of Us had that same shit.
Hey, hello, right quick. What's up, Colteastwood, man? I just want to say what's up with Colt, man, because we've been trying to get him in here. What's up, Colt? How you doing, bro?
Good, man. Thanks for having me on. Sorry, it's been crazy. It's like a birthday weekend. Family all's getting together. Then today they're dragging their feet and wasting my Sunday. So I just said, I've been telling these guys I want to get on the show, so I just jumped on. I wanted to jump on and get on here and talk to you guys. And I'm not going to sit around and wait for family.
Hey, man, I just had a birthday weekend myself. I know how you feel.
Uh-huh. Yeah, I know. Yeah, everybody wasting everybody else's time. Yeah, not my birthday, but but whatever.
Okay.
before everybody gets started, hip hop. Let me ask you two quick questions.
About that microtransaction thing anyway that you're saying, sick. No, I played Black Ops 4, what is it, from launch all the way up until, like, it got to that point where they started putting in weapons that were technically, originally they were part of the whole pass thing, right? So, you have, like, 50 tiers, you unlock the tiers, you get the weapons. When, I think it was, like, May this year, or maybe even a little bit earlier, then they started adding in weapons into crates. That's when that game got really fucking bad for a lot of people that were playing COD, because it was a pay-to-win situation, and then they added in the reserves, which, again, you weren't...
but you had the option to buy it. You should have just spent the money, right?
Oh, hell, what?
No.
Fucking
no, listen. What I'm trying to
say. Here's the thing, right? About that whole aspect, right? Is the factor of if you were spending $6 on that sort of game, right, and then a game does that where you have pay-to-win weapons, and there was a lot of weapons in that game that were paid to fucking win, where people in online matches would just easily take you out because they had these set weapons. It is bullshit. I know probably roughly around 15 people that had the same argument, and they were in the Reddit posts. And I remember going into Treyarch's Reddit post when they did this the first time, like the Stingray and some other weapons. People were not happy, and they were like, "Oh, but you can." People were saying, "Oh yeah, but you can buy COD points to get these things." Yeah, that's true, but then that didn't guarantee you getting the weapon. You still had to roll the dice to get set weapons, and they could have been duplicates until, like...
Oh, that's whack. I don't like the duplicate stuff. That's whack.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
I got something, I don't want to get the same thing again.
Then, after that, they added in the non-duplicate fucking packages where you didn't get duplicates, which is great, and you could earn them in-game, which is good, where it kind of, like, mellowed out a bit, but it still was a sense of you had to fucking grind hours upon hours, right, to get set package to then maybe get that thing. Like, it's funny because we talk about this sort of shit, right? Whereas, it may or may not be affecting you. And it comes down to the narrative of, like, seeing it on the news recently with, like, Modern Warfare, right? There was rumors that they were going to have pay-to-win weapons. This week, by chance, they said there isn't going to be that sense. They're doing a battle pass system, premium stream, and a normal free stream. But again, you like don't pay for the premium, still get those weapons, which is absolutely fine. That's great. You're playing the game. And when it comes to COD, it's not one of those games that you have to dedicate hours upon hours into. People can come in from work, play that game, and then be like, okay, cool. That's enough for me. Like, some people that I know, I've only got the time to play those sort of games. Whereas, people such as ourselves might play, like Monster Hunter, maybe Destiny, maybe like Assassin's Creed, maybe, basically open world.
Or maybe Dreams, yeah.
Oh, hell no, don't talk about Dreams. Don't bring that shit up.
If you want to spend...
Dreams is amazing. What's wrong with you?
Oh, hell no.
Oh, yeah.
No, please.
We got one.
Dreams is fire. I don't care what nobody says.
We got one.
In life, like Dreams.
All
Are
right.
you serious?
Please, no.
We got one, man. We got one.
Yo, bro.
Oh my God! Hey man, please, I gotta put this motherfucking play like
son.
Hey, big buddy, man.
Are you serious?
Big buddy, I've been told you I love you.
Oh my God! Right,
Yeah,
no.
motherfucker. You got it.
Another one, though. The people who have Death
You
Stranding.
know I'm about to get to it. Hold on. Hip hop. You trying to tell me so? Please explain to me what the fuck is going on in Death Stranding. Please explain to me and tell me you understand what's going on in that fucking game. Wait a minute.
I didn't play the game yet, so I don't know.
Okay.
I can tell you.
All I know is supposed to be something about connection and life, and what it seems to me, and then we can let ADD finish what he was saying. But what it seems to me is that the story is going to be about human connection and how we've lost that in our real lives. I think that's what it's going to be like.
Man, that's all he doing, hip hop. He ain't doing nothing but going across the country.
Big money.
Cool.
Big money.
You gonna be a
Big
fucking
money.
hater,
I'm
and that game got
telling you,
shit out of
I'm telling
100 on
you,
Metacritic.
Hold on.
I talked to somebody who actually got the game.
Bro, I'm telling you, son.
Nah, I talked to somebody who actually got the game, and I'm not gonna say who it is because I don't want that person
no
to
spoilers,
get.
please.
No. I'm not gonna give no spoilers. But he did fill me in, and he said you are gonna be pleasantly surprised. It's not really what you think it is.
I'm calling.
Bro, you can't call Kojima do that shit all the time, though, Big Money.
Stranding, Colt.
This dude is playing the game on my. He's playing the game on my list, bro. I gotta take his word for it.
All I'm gonna say,
that's all I'm saying.
I've been hearing a similar thing, and I'm gonna put it this way. Let me just put it out here this way. No spoilers. There's no spoilers, but I gotta put it out this way. There are more than just journalists with this game. There are way too many. You cannot sit up here and tell me 400 people go review this game on November 1st. There are a lot of people with this fucking game. And you know where I searched to get this? The best insight to find out how many people got the fucking game is Instagram. That's the best way, because when they tag that shit and they're showing that they have it on their interface, all the interfaces are always different. That shit is, it's a lot of people. Look, Big Money. I think a lot of people gonna love this game. I want to move on from this game.
Hold on. Colteastwood.
Oh God.
From all the stuff that you've seen, do you understand anything that's going on in that game?
Kind of, but it doesn't matter. I mean, that's the whole allure of Death Stranding. That you don't know what's going on.
But you listen. This Big Money.
Listen, we don't have to know everything about every game, and I think it's smart to put some massive mystery in this game. I'm not a Kojima fan. I don't like a lot of his games that I've played. This one interests me. I'm going to buy it day one. I'm going to give it a fair shake. I played Metal Gear 5. I played like 40 hours of that game. I didn't like it at all. But I'm going to give this one a fair shake. And I know there's no reason to hate on this game for no reason. And I know a lot of people are excited about it. There's no reason to say it's going to be Game of the Year no matter what. But I think it's going to be something special, something different. A lot of people tried to bash, I'm not a Kingdom Hearts fan, but people tried to bash that game because no one knows what the story is, but that's not the point. People love these games. They want to play them. They're excited about them. And it's okay to be excited about a game that looks cool.
Colt, I'm looking at your sub, and you just lost 1,000 subs, bro.
Yeah, I say it on RDX, and people get really ticked. Because there's extreme fanboys on both sides, and I've spoken up many times on the podcast. I said this game looks cool. You don't have to buy it day one if you don't want to, but I'm going to give it a shot. And there's a mystery, and sometimes it's cool to go into a movie not knowing what the heck it's about, and it's okay.
Yeah, facts.
Yep. I agree, 100%.
Look at this. Look, everybody. I agree.
Big Money, take notes.
Big Money lost again. God damn.
Bro, like when it comes to games, man, you want a game that hasn't. You want a game that's gonna be, not completely secretive, but like put certain things allured, right, sort of thing. Like Last of Us, right?
Game I understand. That's it. That's I want something I understand. Y'all can't sit here and tell me y'all understand what the fuck is going on.
Big money.
Think of it this way, right? Horizon Zero Dawn, right? Before that game came out, all you knew was Aloy as a character. There's freaking machines roaming the earth.
I knew the premise, Adam. Adam, I know anything.
But they had a whole trailer that told you the premise, though. Big Money.
Okay, well, sick.
He's trying to reconnect everybody, man. Also, he gotta go and save the president's daughter so she can become the next president, bro.
Peach is like Mario and Peach, man. It's very easy to simple.
That's a Mario thing right there. That's a Mario thing.
Hey, let me ask you something. Sick, can I ask you something? And I'm asking Hip Hop Gamer and Colteastwood the same thing. How much do y'all bet right now? I don't care how many pre-orders that game got. Do you believe that game, the 90% of those pre-orders are off of his name alone? It's not off of that what they've shown. It's off of his name. That's all I hear. The first thing I hear about that game, and Colt, I'm sorry to say this, it's the same thing I hear when I talk to Xbox guys. When I talk to Xbox guys, man, and I ask them to name me 5 favorite things about that system. The last thing they name is games. I'm sorry to say that, bro, but that's what they do.
Yeah, I mean the Xbox One. Yeah, it's the last thing that it did well. Did everything, in my opinion, it does everything almost superior. But the games, yeah, I mean you need the games. Yeah, it's been a bad generation.
Yeah, and that's how I feel about this game.
I wouldn't say 90%, but I'd say a huge majority are on I trust Kojima. He will deliver for me. But I mean, it's the same thing with every game. I mean, tell me it doesn't look like one of the most beautiful games this generation.
Look, that's a beautiful game.
No.
It looks okay. It looks amazing.
Forget the looks. Forget the looks. Forget all of that.
Forget the looks. That's all it got.
We bet on Naughty Dog because of what? Because of their name, right?
Yep.
They're talking about making a whole new IP that we knew absolutely nothing about, but we're gonna be willing to give it a chance because it's Naughty Dog, right?
Because they deliver.
Naughty Dog. Yeah, but hold on. So we trying to say that Kojima hasn't delivered with the previous Metal Gear Solid games?
Yeah.
I mean, are we saying that? Oh man! Okay.
Well, has every one of his games.
You just simply don't like Kojima. That's kind of what it is.
Like, here's the thing. I think Colteastwood was about to say this. Every one of his games has scored above a 90. Even though I will say this, Metal Gear Solid 5, that was not a 90. That was not a fucking 90. That game was probably the worst one out of well, I mean, there's more than just 4, but based on the main stories, like the 4.
Metal Gear Solid 5 was a letdown in my opinion too.
Yeah,
it was because again, the way it was trying to connect between 1 and that 1 and 5, it kind of felt like there was a lot of things that he wanted to do within that story, which was just left out.
Yeah, so I think Konami kind of forced him to do 5. I don't think he wanted to do 5.
We don't know the full story of this whole freaking Konami.
But it's okay not to like Kojima, like to look at a game. To look at a Kojima game on the outside and you realize that you personally don't really care for his games and they don't connect with you and you don't enjoy them, it's okay to say, I'm not going to get Death Stranding because it's a Kojima game and that doesn't line up the stuff I like. That's okay. Like, who cares? Like, I could say that almost every single Kirby game is highly rated and well beloved, but I'm not interested in getting the next Kirby game because I don't like that type of game. That's okay. But step back for a minute and say, people are excited about Death Stranding. They're excited about Kojima. They know he delivers. They're going to get the game day one and say, hey, I'm happy for you. Enjoy it. It's not my thing. I'm going to go play Super Lucky Still 2.
Shoot. Don't do that. Don't do that.
That's illegal. I don't like that.
Big Money, look at Death Stranding as reading a good book, man.
Yeah.
You need that good book.
I ain't read a good book in a long goddamn time. I ain't read a good book in a long
just to chime in as well on this Death Stranding thing. My brother, because I was supposed to go this weekend, but I ended up not. EGX in London, basically. My brother went to go and see behind the closed doors, gameplay that's not been seen before. This is actual new gameplay.
For what,
and my brother, he wasn't a big fan of Death Stranding. He loved the Metal Gear Solid games, but he wasn't totally on board with Death Stranding. After seeing what he saw behind closed doors, he's now telling me he wants to go and get that game for some reason.
I got a feeling Death Stranding. Feeling Death Stranding may shock a lot of people. It's going to probably astound a lot of people.
It's going to be just. I say it's right.
This game may fuck some heads up, yo.
I will say this much, right? When it comes to the reviews of this game, I've always said that this game is going to be very decisive. I can see reviews being bad, but also good because of how this game might play out for certain people. You're always going to get this shit. And when it comes to this game specifically, it's one of those games where, I can't see every reviewer giving it, a 9 or a 10 or, an 8. I can see someone dropping their score majorly because they say they don't understand something or they don't understand the premise of why this gameplay is in this game, or
it's frustrating. I've said that too. I said you never know. There could be a good chunk, maybe 25% of the reviewers or more, where the game was frustrating. I didn't understand. I didn't like. It got really weird, and it kind of put me off. Or they'll all just say, "Man, the story really pulled me in. I was freaking out. I was scared. I was, who knows? We don't know what's going to happen."
This is what I mean. A lot of people did say that. apparently it's going to take a bit of time before the story like sort of develops, like before like it starts to grab you, which I'm like, okay, that's fine, because again, I don't want I want that sort of slow burn up for me anyway. I like the story kind of like gradually picks up eventually, and then it goes boom. It's kind of like I've said this with Yellow on previous, like when I was playing Gears of War 5, or Gears 5, sorry, should I say? It was like a slow burner in the first act. In the second act, it really started to rotate, spin up until the end of the second act. And then when they went into the third act, it sort of like revved downwards. Like like the momentum for me sort of slowed down. I don't know if it's because I was doing the side stuff in Act 3, or if it was because it kind of just sort of put certain story elements in the back pocket with Kate, and then it sort of read back up at the end, which I was like, oh, okay, cool. Like, it was typical Gears, like, it was this typical Gears format where the ending sort of revved up the action and the faster pace of that game. So, like, I mean, a lot of people talk about pacing in games. A lot of people talk about pacing in games. Like, Uncharted 4 is one of them. Like, a lot of people say the pacing was off in that game, but I disagree on it. But again, everyone has their own different narratives of how they would like a game to be paced. And with Death Stranding, like, it will be like that. You can be straightforward with the story, or you can go around, you can set up things for other players. That's the other thing as well, which is really intriguing, was that you got the story element, but then also you got this online capability that, again, not a lot of people were focusing on, but I can see a massive, massive thing happening within that capability of what Death Stranding is trying to do. Because, we see it in, like, Dark Souls and Bloodborne, but not in the sense of having physical things for you to use and pick up, which, again, I cannot wait to... When I'm able to play that game, I can't wait to be able to, like, jump into this world, and then randomly there's, like 4 or 5 bikes just randomly there because people in the community of Death Stranding are doing it.
I hope they do that shit for me, because I need a fucking bike all the time. But look, Adam, thank you. I just wanted to put this out there. Again, I told Sick Humor about this a little bit earlier. The best way, or the worst way to find out about Death Stranding before you want to or not, is on Instagram, since it's picture based. So we see that they have started a mega advertisement. I saw one in a mall close to Virginia, that they had 2 posters. There's another picture I didn't post on Twitter, and that one has a wider banner hanging from the ceiling, and that's for The Last of Us Part 2. So you're seeing Death Stranding is on the TV area, on the sides right there, with the gold right here. It has PlayStation VR, but I don't believe it has a PlayStation VR there. I just think that's a part of the advertisement. But it's a lot of people that have this game. It's a lot of people that are excited from the game, and Big Money is probably the only person in the United States or the world that
I'm right.
is
so right, I'm gonna stand up and tell the truth about that bullshit ass game.
Hold on, he's the only person that I know.
What game is bull? Hold on, what you said, Big Money? What game is bull?
Stranded.
Oh god.
How?
Whoa. I got this. Yo, Big Money. Question. You play this game yet?
He want to find some pizza.
Big Money. Question. Did you play this game yet?
No, I did not play this game.
Then your point means nothing. That's it. Done deal. Your point means nothing. Your point is not valid. If you experience something, you hold no weight. That's it.
All I'm gonna say, look, Big Money, we can make a new bet. That bet is that none of the boxes will have pizza in them at all. And look, and I'm talking about even one box. Man. Even say anything with pizza in the whole game. None.
Any kind of money.
Big money.
None of those boxes.
You gotta give someone a chance. You just can't shoot it down.
No. Big money. What would have made this a more appealing trailer to you? Like, what would have been more appealing to you? Because wait, let me premise it real quick. Let me preface it real quick, right? So they showed the shooting. right?
Yeah.
They show many different ways that you traverse the landscape.
Come on now, that wasn't no.
I'm getting to a point. I'm getting to a point. They showed they gave you your GTA style. Pull them out the truck, steal the truck, and drive off. Right, right. They showed you that. They showed you that, right? They showed you the stealth elements where you can, go in quiet and stealth kill the enemies, right? And then they hit you off with what you're actually doing, what your actual mission is, and your mission is to reconnect the United Cities of America, bro.
I mean, Sick. You know what I seen, bro? I seen a butt naked ass baby that looked weird as hell, and I seen a grown ass man,
but the baby
and made it glow.
Right. But you're missing what the use of the baby is, though. You're missing.
Hold on, let me finish. Now let you finish. I seen a butt naked man take a bath in some yellow ass toxic waste. That's all I seen. That's all I seen. There's nothing about that game that's interesting.
So nothing about the baby, which the baby is how you actually come back when you void out. That's not interesting at all to you.
Right.
Man, listen. I've been around a lot of babies.
You know what babies so what was wait. What was the last game that was interesting to you, Big Money?
Listen. Let me get now. I joke around. Listen, I joke around a lot about that game, but truly, the thing is, the only thing that's making me upset about the game is that everybody is not buying the game up for what they see. They're buying the game off of Kojima's name. That's the only thing I'm upset about the game. That's the only reason I'm upset. I'm tired of hearing people come saying how great Kojima is. I'm just tired of seeing that and hearing that.
But can you really make that 90% statement?
Nobody's talking about the game. They're only talking about Kojima. That's it.
Oh, okay. Look, I want to Big Money. You looking at the YouTube channel because I want to show you.
And I'm not looking at that shit. You putting up dreams and shit. Take that shit off the channel, man.
No. I want you to look at the live stream because I'm scrolling down.
I'm looking at it.
I'm scrolling down to where the Japanese Twitter page, they made their little montage trailer, 2 minutes 30 seconds of all the action in Death Stranding. They knew what people wanted. That shit was fire.
So they got 2 minutes out of like 3 hours of trailers?
Yeah, they put everything together.
Say it again. No, you ain't kidding. No, you're not. No, you're not. Come on now.
I did a video about how both Gears 5 and Death Stranding were showing very little gameplay this year. And I think Death Stranding showed, as far as combat, I think they showed maybe, I would say 2 minutes of combat total. And Gears had shown like 45 seconds or maybe a minute. Yeah.
Now, you know what? I'll say right now, Colt, and I haven't even played the game yet, and I am going to play Death Stranding. I can almost guarantee, and I know it's not going to win, but I would take Gears 5 over Game of the Year than Death Stranding.
I'm going to kick your ass.
I would take that game.
Wait. What happened? Wait.
What happened?
I will take Gears 5 for Game of the Year over Death Stranding right now.
Let me say something. Hold up. Let me say something right now because I'm gonna be honest with you. No, listen. Because I haven't played Death Stranding yet. How many of y'all played? And I played Gears 5 on PC on the highest settings, everything. How many of y'all played Gears 5 and ended it? Because I'm gonna tell you right now, it's the best Gears ever made. Like it blew me away from start to finish. Gears 5 blew me away. Gears 5 is in the running for Game of the Year. I'm not saying it is, but it's in the running in my opinion. But I'm played it here.
I played Gears 5 and I beat it on Insane. Of course, I did play it on PC at the highest setting.
You like it? Did you like it?
Yeah, but Big Money, would you say that before you got a chance?
Amazing.
Would you say that before you played Gears 5? Like when you were looking at all the trailers of Gears 5 and then all the trailers of Death Stranding, would you say...
And I'm a PlayStation guy. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Cole.
Oh no, that's up for debate, Big Money.
No, what I'm saying is like you've already played Gears 5, but before you've played both of them, would you still say you'd give Gears 5 Game of the Year over Death Stranding? Because Death Stranding looks to be an even bigger game than Gears 5 as far as scope and maybe even storytelling. We don't know yet, but
Cole, are you still an Xbox guy? Because you scaring me right now, goddammit. Scaring me, Cole. What is going on, man?
People have the wrong idea. I've been asking Xbox to put out something as big and like hard hitting. Like when I watched that first trailer for Death Stranding, it was like the first real trailer. I think it was right before E3 because I think a lot of places you guys this was our E3. It's an 8-minute trailer, and I thought, man, Xbox needs something that like hits this hard, like right in the gut when you watch it. And I think that's going to be really cool. But I played Gears 5, and I loved every minute of that game.
Thank you. That game was a great game, yo. Great game. I loved it. Every bit of it. I feel you.
Okay. Real quick, Big Money. What was Gears about? What was Gears 5 about?
Oh, you trying to do that to me?
Nah, fam. When y'all sit here, dog, Gears 5 was a generic ass Gears game, my nigga. Like the story itself, the story is. Come on, bro.
First of all, Gears 5 was dope about Gears 5. Like the main part to me, what was really dope, because obviously in Gears 4, we learned that her mom, got taken and stuff like that, and Marcus Phoenix almost died the same way. So in
the significance about her mom, though? Do you know the significance about her mom and her mom's mom?
One thing in particular about Gears 5 that I really love is to see how Kate is pretty much like becoming the chosen one for the when she got caught up by the snatch, like being the chosen one to lead, because it seems like her mother is gonna eventually like die, and her blood is gonna be the blood that like carries on so the enemies can still live instead of the enemies completely dying. So with Kate, to me, what it looks like, especially at the end, I don't want to spoil it for anyone, but what I love about the game from a story standpoint is the part where what's the name got killed and didn't come back. That was surprising. I didn't know that was gonna happen with the Hammer of Dawn, and then you take over with Kate, and then you experience everything with Kate. And while you're playing the game, throughout the game, there's certain things that's happening to her, and then they're like, "Yo, you alright? What's going on?" Then you see the story progresses through her in all the levels of the game. And I love that because they keep your memory on what's at stake here. And what's at stake is Kate losing herself to the enemies. And it seems like either Kate is gonna be somebody that you gotta kill in Gears of War 6, and it's gonna introduce a new character that's gonna be the person to do it, or Kate is gonna figure out something about herself that's gonna allow all the enemies to be taken down, and she's gonna have to come face to face with her mother to do it. Like, nah, B.
Hey, fam, you know what? The only thing I hated about that game, bro. The only thing I hated about that game, and Cole, I think you can agree with this, man. When they first started off Gears, y'all. If anybody know the story about Gears? I hate the way they did the Locusts. They turned the Locusts into super soldiers. I thought the Locusts were really beings that lived under that earth. That's the only thing I hate about that. They shouldn't have did that. That pissed me off when I realized. I was like, what? They fucking super soldiers? Like, nah, that fucked my mind up right there.
That's the thing. That this sort of thing was in previous Gears games where the COG were basically dealing with mutating,
that's why the COG is so corrupt.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, here's the thing, like I mentioned it earlier on, man. When it comes to Gears, man, because this is the thing that kind of swayed my mind in this whole narrative of what that story was trying to do, and that was during the first part of that. It's basically my whole thing of why I enjoy that game is within Act 2. and that is, the conflict between Kate and her heritage. Until that shit ends, right, which is basically at the end of Chapter 2, right, Act 2, should I say, they just shook that shit off.
Are we really sitting up here making this game seem like it was some elaborate, like really detailed, just like super intricate?
Nah, this game is fire,
man.
No. Just to mention,
very good.
I can't even.
To be this crazy ass narrative of Kate fighting conflict with her heritage, but the thing is, we only got that in one act. After Act 2 was over, Act 3 was, okay, let's fire the rocket into space to get the Hammer of Dawn online. And then on the fucking, the last ever chapter, or last act, so I say, you're basically on the forefront defending, what was the place called? Fuck.
I know what you're talking about. I know what you're talking about. I don't remember the name of the place on top of my head either. But I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, but the COG sort of settlement, basically. You're basically you're on the forefront setting up the beacons. Yeah, you're basically setting up these beacons to combat, the swarm, locust, whatever you want to call them. And then you get to that certain scene where I don't know if you felt the same way, but to me, there was only one decision to be made there. It was a very easy decision. I didn't even have to think about it. It was easy as hell to make that decision. Because the one person you had to choose between the other one was with you for the whole fucking game. Whereas the other dude was a major dick in the beginning.
Yeah.
And then also was never with you and tried to, basically play the I'm sorry role in Act 3. And then you're I should care about you. Fuck no, because if I choose the other person over you, it will make a better story for the 6th game. And I'm like, I think they wanted
you to make a certain decision so they could push the story forward and have it end the way it did. But I had a hard time making the decision. I knew what I wanted to do, but it was a really hard decision, and we can't spoil it. But
here's what I'll say without spoiling it. Here's what I'll say without spoiling it. The reason why I love that moment is because that's the first time in a Gears game that moment that happened, where you had to make a choice like that.
Yeah.
Other than go left or right.
And the thing is, say it again.
Other than go left or go right, yeah.
Right.
Well, you know what I'm saying. So, but my thing is, with a situation like that, the obvious choice was obviously what you said. But just because it's the obvious choice doesn't necessarily mean that was the one you should have chose. You know what I mean? So it's kind of
Well, yeah, I can understand that. But if you were going into Gear 6, right, and you looked at both outcomes.
Yeah, I know. I would rather go into Gear 6 with the person that was with me, you know what I mean?
You know what?
It's one of those the decision that you made, right? If you play through those, both choosing both decisions, right?
Right.
I'm pretty fucking sure that the one decision there was more implementations and more of a factor as to what the fuck could go down over the other one, because.
Right.
When I did my first choice, which was the easiest one, it was a major repercussion, and I could see that going into the next game. Whereas the second time I played it, I was like, let me choose and see how this acts out. I didn't give a fuck about that other decision. I was like, because no one really gave a shit about that character. It was one of those things that I could see maybe 2 characters, maybe 3, which are the newbies in Gears, be like, I'm really pissed off. But if you are, if you're trying to collaborate with everybody within Delta, the new Delta and the old Delta, then I would probably go with the easier option, which is the most obvious one.
Okay, Adam, I have to talk to a wall for a couple minutes, so I need to show this shit.
Because one of the things as well, which I will say, right, is that I said this in the podcast I don't know when it was, but
a couple of days ago.
I said that I understand what they try to do in like a new fancier way to like introduce like this new narrative, but I would have liked it if they did that throughout the whole game. But the only thing that they did was the BB, calling in different BBs like to fight alongside you. That was it. Or the old Gears turns where you choose left or right.
Yeah.
But for you to go and do the whole game and then be like, here's the decision, make it, and it's like you get to that point like, but like, is it like a really conflicted one? It's like, not really.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, I understand what you mean.
Like I'll say this much: when I play games like Naughty Dog or games or Guerrilla Games or Halo games or whatever game, right? I think I said Naughty Dog, right? With like Last of Us, they could have done the whole thing with Gears, where you could either lie to Ellie or you can tell her the truth. They're like, fuck it, we've got balls on us. We're gonna fucking
Adam. How y'all doing? Good, hey, what's up with your Nightbot? The only reason I'm here is because your Nightbot kicked me out because I used 2 emojis. What? Emojis.
What the fuck? Oh,
I did 2 thumbs up. I did 2 thumbs up emojis supporting the channel, and it booted me out. I'm like, oh hell no, he want to fix that.
Okay, man. Okay.
Adam, stop being blessed.
I don't know how to do that shit, so I'm gonna have to take Nightbot off. But
no, I'm just saying.
Hey, Jay, let me. I want to ask Colt and Hip Hop Gamer something right quick. Hip Hop, right quick. Why do you think Sean left? Sean left in Colteastwood. Where do you see Xbox in the next? To ask
he want to know why Sean Layden left.
I was trying to do it quick because I know everybody is trying to talk. I just want to ask 2 quick questions.
Okay.
First, I want to ask Hip Hop Gamer.
Did Sean Layden left?
Do you have your theory on why Sean left? Sean Layden.
Well, I do have one theory, and I actually have 2. So I had a conversation with what's the name? Oh my God, why I can't remember his name right now? Jack Tritton. So I had a conversation with Jack Tritton like I think like last year. We was talking on a podcast and stuff like that. And one of the things that I asked him, I'm gonna show you how this all relates. One of the things that I asked him, I was like, yo, like, do you think you would ever come back to PlayStation and do something on stage like as a celebration or whatever because of your role and you grew on us, you know what I'm saying? And he was like, nah, that's not gonna happen. Like Sony's not that type of company. We did what we did, that's it, but I'm gone and that's that. It's very kind of cut and dry. And I was like, that's interesting. So we had other conversations that I can't reveal publicly, but what I would say is based on some of the things that I learned in that conversation and things that happened at this past E3 recently, even though they wasn't there, but some people from Sony was. You remember the big situation with crossplay?
Yeah.
And stuff like that. I think Sean Layden, when it comes to crossplay, like he was down for it, but there were certain things that he wanted to do or have in place, or certain things that he wanted to take lead on when it came to crossplay and a couple of other features that they're working on behind the scenes. And I think as a collective, the group didn't want to go in the direction that he was going because I believe it felt like it wasn't too consumer friendly on the things that he wanted to implement. But Divide, it was like, you know what? I don't think this is going to work. And things that Jim Ryan was doing, especially over on the EU side, was very fitting across the globe. And they felt, to my knowledge, this is not to confirm me, like this is it. I'm not saying this. I'm just saying to my knowledge of what things seems like is that Jim Ryan was the best fit to be able to cover globally instead of just one area, because his vision and things that he wants to do is something that globally everybody's going to be on the same page on. So because of that, it just made sense to just get rid of Sean Layden, have Jim Ryan in that place, and then now we have one centered focus company wide.
Yeah.
So that's where that comes from in terms of Jim Ryan being in that spot.
Just to mention to you, Hip Hop Gamer, you mentioned that, like, because obviously Sony for the past year have been laying off people, or not laying off people, but they've been restructuring Sony SIE, right? They've been restructuring it for a year now, or nearly a year. And obviously,
and they have a new team too. They have a new team that's doing their PlayStation 5 launch release.
Yeah. Well, the thing is that, like, PlayStation is a global thing, like you mentioned, which it's not a bad thing, obviously not. But with Sony, like, I think it came out in a few articles, they wanted to be able to center the ideas and basically all the information that's coming out of that, SIE company from one source. They didn't want to have to say, like, talk about one thing at SIE in America and then have to
say another
say it again, but in, like, England or in Europe. They want to be able. It's kind of like Xbox in a sense, right? Xbox is kind of based in North America, right? It's in America in a sense.
Yeah.
So it's easy to be like, hey, listen, do you want to do this? And they're like, oh yeah, sure. It'd be, and it's easy to do that because again, you're in America. That's it. But with Sony, it's like, oh, you have to go from North America or American total in general to then Europe and then Japan. And it's like you rather have like more more
what I think you're trying to say, sorry to cut you off. What I think you're trying to say is one of the problems with Microsoft, this happened from the beginning in 2013, is the messaging. The messaging was horrible. They said one thing and it wasn't that.
Still horrible. It's still horrible. That's the thing.
Don Matrick really destroyed them. It was horrible. So my thing is, going forward, what Sony is looking to do is to have someone that across the globe they can recognize. They know what it is. They know what the message, when it's said, is done, and when it's done, is said. Like everything is streamlined better. What that does is when you have your core streamlined that way, then your audience will be divided. Everybody is as one.
Why don't you have Sean Layden do that? Like, instead of Jim Ryan, like Sony and non-Sony fans didn't want Jim Ryan to lead the helm. They don't want him to be the main voice globally for PlayStation. Sean Layden was well respected, and somebody asked me in the chat, well, do you know Sean? Like, do you like? I think what they mean is like, what do you really know about him? All the thing that we can know about Sean Layden is that he was all about the quality standard, the gold mark for PlayStation, and he pushed it really hard. And I think behind the scenes, someone like Sean Layden said, hey, if this doesn't meet the PlayStation gold standard, go back and fix it and finish it right. And he left. We haven't heard a word from him. We don't know where he's going.
Yeah, I think a lot of people are worried about in the manner that he left. Like, it wasn't like a celebration. Yeah. This guy was the boss during the best age of PlayStation that we've ever seen. And not only that, it made Hip Hop Gamer knows that big ass comeback the PS3 made, and then Sean Layden oversaw a very healthy period. Again, a system that is by the end of this year, Big Money's gonna lose that bet. The second highest selling console of all time behind PS2. And I mean, he needs a send off, a hero's fucking send off.
No, I agree.
Hey. The thing is, wait a minute. The thing is, the dude did not take care of his fucking teeth. He needed to do something. Come on. Y'all know damn well he need to do something with his teeth, man. You don't supposed to be no exec walking around with your teeth looking like that. Come on, man. Y'all know that's wrong.
So let me tell you, and this goes back to the Jack Tritton thing as well. So it's like, I'm gonna tell y'all straight up, man. I love Sony and everything like that in terms of the system and everything like that. There's a lot of great people that work there too. Like, I got great relationships there. Here's what I want to tell you though. This is like for real. Like, behind the scenes, and when I mean behind the scenes, I'm talking about behind the scenes, the curtains, and all this other stuff. Nothing face value behind the scenes. Like, a lot of what y'all see is not what you see. I'm telling you right now, please believe me. A lot of what y'all see is not what y'all see. A lot of the way y'all think certain people are is not who they are. So when I see certain things happen, some of it is a surprise and some of it is not. When it comes to Sean Layden, the fact that he didn't get a send-off, that was surprising to me. Don't get me wrong. It was surprising to me. I felt that he should have gotten a send-off. I will tell you this. From what I hear, Sean Layden, good guy, good heart, but his approach to things can be not very liked. And sometimes your passion for things can override and create discomfort within the system, within the organization. And that right there,
the front office, a lot of people in the front office that wasn't comfortable around him or something.
So no. All I can say is, Sean Layden.
Yeah, I'm not trying to put no words in your mouth.
In terms of Sean Layden getting things done, he get things done. Like he's that dude. Like he's somebody you would want on the team. But at the same time, I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna say this, right? I'm gonna just say this. And then you take it how you want to take it. There's a video out right now, right? There's a video out right now. If you go see, it was Sean Layden, Corey Barlog, and they was having a conversation about God of War. I forgot what video this was or whatever, but they was having a conversation about. I think Jeff Keighley was in this video too, and they was having a conversation about God of War, and jokingly. Corey Barlog was like, maybe we should take more time to finish it and stuff like that. And Sean was like, no, get that done, finish it, make sure. And then it was very awkward. But you gotta watch this video because when you see.
You got link.
I know what you're saying.
See this
video to understand what I'm saying.
I see what you're saying. No, I see. Hey, you know what? We need more of that in the gaming industry because these motherfuckers are getting lazy. They're getting real lazy, and I think
Big Mike, bro. We're talking about crunch every fucking year and dev burnout and shit like that, and we want to bring that shit up, really?
Listen, man.
Listen, Sean Layden, I got nothing but great words. For Sean Layden, because he took on a role and he did his thing. At the same time, the approach on certain things could change the morale of a company, and you can't jeopardize everything for one. So, Jim Ryan, and here's why I say Jim Ryan, get in that position. I'm gonna tell you why. Being at E3 and dealing with Sony as a whole on the back end, the international Sony team in comparison to the American Sony team is like night and day. As the American Sony team on the back end, whether it's PR or whatever, not very friendly. And it could be very dismissive and very condescending with a lot of things. And a lot of people will tell you that on the back end. As on the on the international European side, they like, you a gamer? Come on in. We love you. Let's go. What you need? Like, very more welcoming. And not sure if there's a lot of stuff behind the scenes. Like I said, there's a lot of stuff that y'all don't know. But for years, keep in mind, I've been in the industry professionally since 2008. So there's a lot of stuff I could tell you and stories, whatever. But what I would say is, like, just based off experience, I can clearly see and understand why Jim Ryan is in the position he's in now. Facts.
Well, you know what, man? Like I was saying, man, I think they need more stuff like that, man. They need, because, like, look, man, that's why, like, I can't see a lot of these gaming companies, man. They just go tell you to make a game, and let's say it takes about 4 or 5 years to make a AAA game.
Yeah.
4 or 5 years. You have these execs go check that game twice out of that whole 5 years.
But
and I think it's time.
I was going to say, those people like you're talking about big money are people like Scott, Shuhei, Shannon. Those are the people that go to these studios and are asking them, how are you doing? How's the the rundown? How is the buzz?
Exactly. You see what I'm saying, right? You see what I'm saying, right? ADD, like, yeah, man.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. They need more of that. But
here's the thing about it, like both Xbox and PlayStation, right? Alright, when the thing is, when Xbox One came out, right? Don Matrick obviously was in the limelight. He was in the, he was going to get shot regardless, right? But the thing is, which I never really got, was did Don fuck up? Apart from what Xbox One, did he fuck up before that with 360? Like, did he ever fuck up in such a magnitude? Because I can't recall. So for him to go into the X1 and fuck up the first time and basically not be given the chance to be like, okay, listen, all right, I understand, we can reverse these things. Obviously, I don't know the whole story about it, but again, like, I would have thought he would have stayed there. But he got fired right off the fucking bat. And I'm like, wow,
that's because the 360, the last few years of the 360, Microsoft was trying to implement the I can't remember what it was called. It was like the home center where you could connect to Windows 7 and you could have Xbox 360s throughout your house and listen to music and surf the web and play your games and all this crap. And then when the Xbox One came out, you had that Yusuf, I don't remember his last name, and Don Matrick were up there, and they were doing all the TV stuff. Microsoft thought, man, we got the gaming thing on lock. Now we'll just be the entertainment hub. And they put all their money into the Kinect and the entertainment hub. And it's funny, everyone knows that I'm like a diehard Xbox fan, because it's my favorite platform. But I sat there during that reveal for that Xbox One, that stupid name. And I told my friends, I told people on the forums, I said, don't buy the Xbox One. It's not a gaming console. I'm going to get a PlayStation 4.
Yeah.
And you're right. They totally were going the wrong way. Don Matrick got canned for a reason because.
I can understand it, but like, if it's the sense of like, if you're you're doing your job right, and let's just say you slip up for the first time, right? Do you expect to get fired straight off the bat, or do you expect to kind of get a talking to, slap on the wrist? But
it depends. If you fuck up a little bit. Fucked up majorly. He fucked up majorly.
Yep.
He fucked up.
His era shaped the entire perception of the industry in terms of the way people viewed Xbox for this entire generation.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean,
we're
still talking about it.
Phil Spencer
we're still talking about
it. What he did full time. That's crazy, B.
I mean, like I was gonna say, go on to the PlayStation aspect. PlayStation started with Jack Tretton, Adam Boyes, Andrew House. Obviously, Jack Tretton was there for the launch of the PS4. He left, right? Andrew House was there for an additional 2 years, 3 years. He left. Adam Boyes, I think it was 2 years as well. He was basically the rundown of looking for indie titles, the smaller titles, bringing them in, giving them the exposure they needed, and I think he's now working for a different dev, I think, now. But again, all three of these people I just listed off, a lot of people, when they, were announced that they were going to be going, people were like, oh shit, what are we going to do without them, right, sort of thing. And then obviously, you got your, Sean Layden came into the fray to sort of replace, obviously, a facial figure. So, because after Jack Tretton, you had Andrew House and Adam Boyes, but then after when Adam Boyes left and he left, it's like, oh shit, who are we going to get? And it's like, well, we've got Sean Layden. And now that Sean Layden's left, it's like, who are you going to get now? And it's like, a lot of people said, they want Shuhei to be on stage, which I wouldn't mind. Shuhei's really good at, this sort of thing. Plus, recently with PlayStation, they haven't really got, a person like Phil Spencer on stage all the time. They just basically show you the games, the trailers, and that's it. Yeah. And then maybe 3 or 4 times during the conference, they would be like, hi everybody, I'm watching like this, and then there I go.
Hey, Adam, can I say one thing though, real quick?
Yeah, go ahead.
I think it's a misconception by gamers. It always bothers me about Don Matrick. Don Matrick got fired for being honest to each and every last one of us about the direction of Microsoft. It's not just Don Matrick making the choices there; it's Microsoft as a whole.
That's what I'm getting. Yeah, that's what I was wanting.
Hold on. Everything Don Matrick said is what we are doing today. You know what I'm saying? He just told us from jump.
That's true.
Bringing Phil Spencer in didn't do anything different. Nothing ever brought. He told us the exact. Him being gone is what hurt Xbox the most because he kept it honest, he kept it real, and he was a gamer. He developed games, he made games, and he was about the game on top of having to do his job, which was making it to where we have this digital age that we have now. So I mean, we can say anything. We can say anything about. We can say anything we want about everybody on stage right now. Losing Don Matrick is what hurt gaming as a whole because Microsoft not competing the way they should be is making it to where this generation as a whole has become shit. Like this generation, third party games aren't what they used to be. First party games aren't what they used to be. We used to get a lot more games, and we getting a lot less. That's all I wanted to say.
He's right.
Hold up. Here's all I want to say, right? So
Microsoft is a third party. What did you say? What did you say they are? King Flash?
What the fuck is Big Money?
I think that's what I was trying to get out with Don Matrick, which King Thrash sort of
He left. Why he leave? No.
Just wanted to say that, man. That's what you wanted to say.
Yeah, he had to leave.
But again, like I gotta say, like I don't disagree with King Thrash because it is that sense. Everything that he technically, well, not everything, but I mean 30-40% of what he said is already happening. Like you've got services taking a lot of
digital streaming, voice commands. I have to leave in a few minutes, guys. But
okay.
That's right.
Okay, cool. Let me ask you a question right quick. Do you think Microsoft is a third-party company?
Nope. They were in the beginning of the generation. I mean, they used the majority of their games they put out, their console exclusives, were made by studios that they didn't even own. Insomniac did Sunset Overdrive for them. They did an exclusive agreement with Rise of the Tomb Raider. They did Super Lucky's Tale and Recore and Crackdown were not even made by any of their studios. What else? The Forza Horizon and Forza Motorsports, or Forza Horizon games weren't owned by them.
Yeah.
They were basically just commissioning these studios to make games for their platform to only go on PC and Xbox. I just did a video about this. Like, this is a different Microsoft. They were leaning on companies they didn't own, they weren't responsible for. They were paying them probably less than they would pay their first-party studios because they were able to just contract them out to make a game. You don't contract out one of your franchises. I absolutely loved Crackdown 3, by the way. I gave it
Crackdown 3 is dope. Yep.
Yeah, I gave it a 78 out of 100. I didn't give it a 90. I gave it a 78. I absolutely loved it. It was basically a 360 game. But look, they gave that franchise to the studio that made Sonic Transform All-Stars Racing. That's what they did. And Microsoft did that the whole half the generation. But you look at now where they've cultivated and acquired studios. They've got big teams like Obsidian, Ninja Theory, and this initiative that they've told, go make something AAA because Xbox doesn't have that. It's a total difference. But what King Thrash totally nailed it, that Don Matrick looked into the future and said, we're going to be talking to our devices. We're going to be doing everything digital. We're going to be sharing our games with our friends, because the original plan was for you to share your games with up to 5 friends. The only stipulation was you had to be Xbox Live friends for at least 30 days. And that DRM thing was horrible, and we were all ticked off. But that was part of what came with it, is that if you could put up with the DRM policies, which sucked, you could share your games with 5 Xbox Live friends. So it was a mess. It was too early. Don Matrick, I don't know I don't think he's the reason why.
Again, I feel like he
he's right. But that's the last thing I be wanting to hear, that dude is right. He's never right. Never. Ever.
The bottom line of it is, Patrick, even if that shit didn't happen, right, and it wasn't as bad as what it was, that guy would have left, I'll probably say halfway through this generation. Like, he would have left.
Like, and remember, he got a promotion, not a promotion, he got an upgrade to run Zynga, so he was probably getting paid more. I don't know if they said, hey, man, you got to go. And he's like, fine, Zynga's been asking me to work for them anyway, and he left. We'll never know. We'll never know where Sean went, which sucks. It'd be nice to know where his talents are going.
Yeah. I think,
what about Mike Ybarra? What about him?
I mean, look at the difference. Mikey Barra has been speaking to everyone up until the time he announced, until he's going to leave, and he'll continue to speak with people as he moves on to his new place. But Mikey Barra obviously found a better prospect. He's worked at Microsoft for 20 years. Maybe he feels like he couldn't go any further, and he was. We don't know, but it's a total difference. Like, Sean Layden was the voice of PlayStation across the world, not just North America. And you have to respect what he did. But he got pushed out the back door, and he didn't, like you said, he didn't get the hero send-off he deserves for what he's done in this industry his whole career.
Yeah, that's what I didn't like either. Like, they should have celebrated him, because he was amazing, man.
They still should. Yeah. They still should. It makes you think, was there a big nasty fight? Like, did it not go well? Was it not a clean break? And they had to say, look, we want your resignation on the desk tomorrow morning, and you're gone. And they escorted him out. I mean, I don't jump to those conclusions, but he left. There hasn't been a word. This guy deserves a tribute from the company that he helped lift for several years.
He definitely does. Look, I can't wait until a book or an interview comes out, because what he has to say, I want to listen to. I don't care if it was his own fault, but again, it don't matter what went down. You owe this guy. You owe this guy a lot. You know?
Hey, you know with these companies, these big companies, an interview like that is not going to be seen for a long time.
I know.
Just like Kojima, I guarantee you Kojima got a lot to say about Konami, but he can't say nothing just yet.
Yeah, because he got that NDA, that non-disclosure agreement.
That's what I'm going to say. What I mean, like, with the tweet that came out and nothing else, I wouldn't be fucking surprised if Sean Layden is under an NDA in some factor or some contract.
He is. He definitely is.
Things. Because again, like, he's technically still a part of the company. It's kind of like Reggie in the sense. Reggie announced his retirement ages ago, right? Obviously, yes, he got a send off, which is different. But again, he didn't retire until a few months after or something like that? 4 months after? So, like, I see Layden still retweeting, like, stuff. He recently retweeted about Concrete Genie. So, he's still there, like, you know, in a sense of trying to support certain things that are happening within PlayStation. But, again, like, I never really followed Layden, like, on the sense of Twitter. Like, I followed him as a career aspect, but, like, on Twitter, I maybe see him, like, retweet something or like something, but I never really see him, like, tweet out a lot, you know, about certain things. He would normally be a sort of person that has his head down working at whatever he's working on. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, I guess we won't hear anything until maybe reveal the PS5, maybe, or nearing that point in time. I mean, apparently there's a PlayStation Awards this year.
It might be longer
than that, man.
I'm just saying, though, like,
hey, right quick before Colt leave, man, let me say, hey, thanks, Colt. Thanks for coming through, man. I know it's last minute and everything, but thanks, man. I appreciate you coming through, man. I really do.
No, thank you for waiting. Like, I can never do these shows on Sundays, and I finally got to do Iron Lord's podcast like a few weeks ago, so I'm trying to do more of this.
Okay.
But I heard I wanted to get on here with Rand too, because he's cool to talk to as well.
Randall Thor was supposed to be here today too. Shout out to Randall Thor. He didn't hit me back. He hit me back yesterday. He said he was gonna come, but then like I was hitting him up, and then he didn't answer back. So maybe
I talked to him pretty often, and I didn't get a chance to hear what was his status with today. Like I said, my family was wasting some time, so I'm like, I'm gonna jump on this, and you know, it's really good. And you know what? You guys made some really good points. There's all this nasty stuff going on, and stuff sucks sometimes, like the generation, like especially with the Xbox and how they've done things. But you know, like there's people freaking out about Death Stranding, but I always just stop and look. Like right now, where we're at like the pinnacle of gaming. PlayStation is at the absolute peak of what they've done. Like they've had massive success for 25 plus years. And after all that, they're at the absolute pinnacle, about to drop The Last of Us 2. and this Ghost of Tsushima, and then they're going to go into next generation. Xbox has finally got up, dusted off themselves, and they're going to start doing some real hard work. Like as gamers, especially console gamers, it's really, really cool stuff. I'm excited. I'm going to be playing Outer Worlds pretty soon. Like, it's a good time, man. And people are like, I don't know, I can't believe you're saying that. Like, you're an Xbox guy. I'm like, well, I'm an Xbox guy, but when there's a good game, there's a good game.
Exactly.
And and it sucks. I wanted to play Horizon Zero Dawn on my Xbox, and but I don't get to. I had to play it on my PlayStation. And I love that game, and I love God of War, and Spider-Man was the reason I bought a PS4, guys. That's the thing. Like, I knew God of War was going to be fire, but Spider-Man was the one I said, it's time. I got to buy a PS4. I've made enough extra cash where I can go buy one. I got to, just get there and play more games. I'm going to get a Switch this Christmas. I have too much stuff.
Yeah.
But it's kind of the way, if you want to play it all, got to buy it all, and it sucks on the wallet, man. It's really sucks.
Yes, it does.
But I want to thank you guys for having me on, and seriously, reach out to me if you want to have me on again. I'll let you know if I can come on and just talk with you guys, because it's good. I always learn something when I go and talk to other people that have totally different opinions or different types of things they like, and it's good for us.
That's the best thing, because I be trying to get like Xbox people on here, Nintendo people on here. See, the thing, I guess it's a misconception about if you like the Xbox and you like the PlayStation, we don't supposed to sit down and talk about it. We're supposed to be mad at each other. That's crazy. The only thing I say about that whole situation, man, there's nothing wrong with disagreeing. Just don't disrespect.
It gets crazy. I mean, it's supposed to be fun too. I mean, it can be fun sometimes to take jabs, and we all take jabs and stuff, and we'll put up the, a snarky gif and stuff. But, like JayTech, you've always been like really cool. Like, him and I banter back and forth, and he's respectful. But it's fun. We like this stuff.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, the console, we know it's not a real fucking war. But you know the one thing I gotta say, I made a turnaround on crossplay. I talked to this chick that does that played a lot of, what was it? It wasn't Overwatch. It was that other game, right?
Paladins.
Paladins. There you go.
I saw that discussion. Yeah.
So Paladins, right? So we went out on a date, and then she was talking about Paladins, and we were supposed to play, and then I end up eventually downloading it, right? And find out, we don't have crossplay. Guess what happens the next week? The developer says, we're gonna initiate crossplay on all the games we've created. It's a good thing for some games. I could care less about Fortnite, but Call of Duty, if anybody thought Call of Duty blew up in any other year, any other generation, wait until this week. Call of Duty is gonna be hot shit. Crossplay between PlayStation, Xbox, and PC. This is gonna be interesting. This is
I
really
always said it would be
interesting.
great to see the stats and see who has the better kill to death ratio.
PlayStation
dudes or Xbox dudes.
Crossplay. I did it Dauntless, the little Monster Hunter free-to-play title. I played with PC and Xbox. It's so flawless, and that's all I wanted for crossplay last year. I wanted, if it was really gonna be if people were gonna be serious about it, it didn't have to be the fanboys talking to PlayStation guys about, you don't have it. It was up to the developers. They needed to actually push it. We can't push anything as fans. Whether we're negative or positive, we can't push anything. It's up to them if they really wanted to do it. And it seems like the big dog, Activision, wanted to do it. So things, I believe a lot of things are going to change next year and next gen with crossplay.
There's a lot of things that Activision got to change written now, because obviously you got the Blizzard shit going down, and they're connected with Blizzard, man. They don't want to be in the fucking bad books in that narrative, man. They need to, the whole loot box thing with MW. Same thing with like certain studios that sort of just wanted to get away from them. Bungie being one of them. You know what I mean? Like, go right ahead.
Cole, that's another thing that, and I know you got to go. That's another thing that rubs me the wrong way about Microsoft. It always seems like, man, they cannot get along with their studios. Like, it just seems like they really cannot get along with their studios. man, and I don't know where that problem is. Is it in the front office? Where is it? What is going on where people like Bungie, Platinum, all these people, like, they don't even want to work with Microsoft anymore?
Yeah, I don't know what happened to Platinum. It seems to me like Platinum wasn't meeting deliverables, and there was problems with the games. And when Microsoft put the pressure on them, they got mad. We don't know. We can only assume the Platinum thing was a mess. But what was the other one you said? Because Platinum's is a third-party developer. What was the other one you said before?
Bungie.
What's that?
Bungie. You said Bungie.
Oh, Bungie. Yeah. Yeah, why did Bungie leave? All of their Halo games were really successful. They all rated high. They were high sellers. They were all respected. And Bungie left and did Destiny.
Didn't you hear one of the execs do a chair? Somebody from Bungie.
Oh, right, because Bungie will never come back. Yeah, I don't know what happened. Yeah, that now I remember. Yeah, Bungie said they would never. I mean, they didn't say those words, but we know they'll never go back to Microsoft, let alone be signed by someone. But yeah, that's too bad. But that's changing. All the leadership around Xbox Game Studios is now run by a guy named Matt Booty, probably the best name ever. Super nice guy. I got to meet Matt at E3. He's super nice. But Matt Booty has like a really great pedigree of building big action adventure games, third-party story-driven games, and that's totally different leadership. And hopefully, that's going to be a better working situation, because that's what Xbox needs. They fell out, and I tried to cover that in a video about 2 weeks ago about how they almost kind of gave up the Xbox brand. Everyone was saying maybe they're going to go third party, but I mean, they were really close to just leaning on third party developers. And I'm glad they're doing the other way around, because being in the Xbox ecosystem, I have tons of money in the games and the hardware and the controllers and all that stuff. A lot of money in games. Like, I want that to be a great ecosystem. I love the Xbox, the whole package. I like PlayStation. I don't love PlayStation. That's why I'm pretty upfront about that. I use my PlayStation.
We know. Trust me.
Yeah, right. I use my PlayStation. I love Days Gone. I did a review impressions before I hit.
Too.
Yeah, I reviewed I did a review impressions of Days Gone before I hit a pinnacle part in the game that absolutely won me over.
Yeah.
I love. I'll sit down. I'll play those bangers on PlayStation because they're so good. When I'm done, the thing turns off and I'm back to Xbox playing everything else. That's who I am. Other people are a total opposite. They'll play everything on PlayStation. They'll play the Xbox games on PC. But that's cool that we have those choices. I hope in the future that changes, that gets a little more malleable, where we can play how and when we want, but we'll see. But I do need to go, guys. Thank you so much.
Okay, man. Big Money.
All right, man, you take it easy.
Big Money, I blew your ass up with these fucking links. Go take a look at that link that Sony Japan put out, PlayStation Japan. You gotta look at it. I tagged your ass on Twitter. I left it in your inbox on Twitter. I need you to watch it from beginning to end. And then tell me you only get... Watch it.
No, I want to ask him if he had more Xbox controllers than exclusive games.
Oh, shut the fuck up. God damn.
Damn, I wanted to ask you that, man. That's all. I just wanted to ask you that.
What the fuck?
Hey, is Hip Hop Gaming still here? Hold on.
Yo, I'm here.
You still here, man?
Okay. My fault.
I gotta break out at 5 though. I had typed it. In the.
Okay. I just want to see what Big Money think of that trailer, and then you could go. Big Money, go take a look at that trailer real quick, man, because you need to believe it.
Show me no goddamn what's the name trailer. I ain't trying to see that shit, Dave. Like, man. No Death Stranding.
When it comes to those sort of games, man, like, it doesn't matter if it's his name, if it's Naughty Dog's name. It's, like, again, like, it's like a Scorsese film or a Quentin Tarantino film, right? If you see those names, you know in some way what you're going to be getting. It's like Nike or McDonald's, right? You're going to these things because, again, you're seeing the name. So when you see Kojima, with most of his games that he's released, right, they've been above a 90, even though, like I said, right, Metal Gear Solid 5, I feel like it should have been just below a 90. But again, like, every time he's popped out a game that
sit up here and tell me that shit ain't fire, man. This shit's fucking fire. Call it fire.
No, I played every Kojima game, played all these games, man. Like, you know, Zone of the Enders. Like that game, I like Metal Gear Solid.
That game was fire.
Zone of the Enders. I really want to see more. I want to always see more of that game, but we only got 2 games, and that was it. I was like, fuck. But you know, like, it is what it is.
Before Hip Hop Gamer leaves, man. Hey, I want to say again. Hey, thanks to everybody in the chat, man, that came to check us out. Man, to come check. I hope you can come kick it with us another time. I know you be real busy, bro, but man, I really appreciate you and Colt coming through. Like I said, man, I hit these guys up all the time, and then they always hit me right back, man. So thank you, man. I really appreciate you coming to kick it with us, man. I really do.
No problem, man. Like I said, I appreciate being here. Thank y'all for having me, and I made sure I put time aside, like for you today, bro. Cause like the other times things came up, but I made sure I was like, nope, I'm not gonna play you. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna be here. I was
gonna come holler at you. I was gonna come holler at you, man.
You know what I mean? Like, I want no problem. But yeah, man, I appreciate it. Thanks, everybody for checking it out. And one thing I wanted to say real quick before I bounce is if I get a chance, I guess I'll put it in the link on this particular chat. I'm gonna put it in the link now. But I recently did something huge with Microsoft. Y'all was talking about Microsoft today, but I did something huge with Microsoft with this kid. Name is Matthew Munez, and he has muscular dystrophy, SMA type 2 disease, and he's a hardcore gamer. You know, he had to get his right hand amputated.
Oh fuck.
And you already know how hard, that had to been for him. So we was able, I worked with Xbox, and I'm a partner with Logitech. I worked with him to be able to give him Xbox adaptive controller. And they had me on Channel 12 News, and they had me on Fox 5 News as well, talking about it. And that was the first time he smiled in 2 years, from what his father said. So it was like, it was crazy. So I just posted it in a link. So whenever y'all get a chance, like, just check it out and just continue to spread the love. I love, having these conversations.
Oh, bro, man, all day long, bro.
Love to one another.
Okay, man.
Real talk.
Thank you for showing up, man.
No doubt, man. So look, y'all, one love and God bless. I'm out of here. Y'all have a good one.
All right, man. Keep riding, bro. Keep up the good work too, bro. I'm gonna check that video out soon we get off here.
All right, cool, no doubt. All right, one love, y'all. Y'all be good.
Okay.
Peace.
I got an important announcement. Okay, and we're gonna I'm looking at the comment section right now. So anybody got any questions? Next Sunday, I'm gonna be out. Okay, I'm gonna be celebrating. Not celebrating shit. I'm just gonna be out. I'm going to Kings Dominion for the Halloween shit. So I won't be doing a PlayStation Legion gaming podcast next Saturday, and we will not be doing a PlayStation Legion Sunday show next Sunday. Okay, we're gonna skip next weekend for everything. We're gonna be back the following weekend with everything. Okay, so the weekend of October 2nd and 3rd, which is Saturday and Sunday, of the first Saturday and Sunday of October, I'm going to be here. We're going to be here for the gaming podcast Saturday, as well as the Sunday show that Sunday. So remember, we're going to come back the first weekend of October. That's October 2nd and 3rd. We're going to be taking a break next weekend. Okay, so everybody's going to have time to play. There's 3 games coming out on the 25th. We got Call of Duty, we got Outer Worlds, right? And then we have Medieval. Okay, you guys have the whole weekend. We're going to take a break next Sunday. I'm going to do some family stuff again. You got to spend time with your family because you never know what happened. My mom talked about, I was out with her for my birthday, and she talked about all these friends, and, one of the friends got killed and he was left in the fucking storage area or some shit. You never know.
Hey, I'm sorry, Jay. Remind them about the giveaway too. Remember, y'all, we doing.
We're still doing the giveaway, and we're doing double. We're doing double. And the reason why we're doing double because you know the Legion is doing this. The PlayStation Legion is doing this for you guys, and I know we don't do giveaways, but this is going to be the first of many, and it is going to be big. Big money. You have your giveaway that you're going to be doing for Death Stranding. I'm going to also be doing a giveaway because Death Stranding comes with my collection. So I'm gonna be giving away my physical. I have digital. I will be playing it as soon as I get back home Friday early in the morning. I'm off that Friday. Okay? And the first that Monday right there, what is that? That's the Monday of the 4th. I'm off that day, even though Death Stranding doesn't come out. I just needed a short week, so I'm pretty sure they're gonna give it to me. I put in for that Friday. I'm pretty sure they're gonna give it to me. So I'll be off that Monday and Friday. I only work Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, 3 days that week. But I want you guys to remember I will be doing a Death Stranding console bundle unboxing. I've already pre-ordered it on Amazon. But the game that comes with that, I'm going to be giving it away. I might sign it. I ain't famous or anything. I don't know how much money you can get for it. But I might sign it. And then that'll probably be it. I'm giving that away. Gonna you have to make sure you're living at a house and you own a PS4, so you gotta be comfortable giving me your address. You own a PS4, and I'm gonna be giving that away. We're doing a contest for that for Death Stranding week. Big Money's gonna do the other one, so we're giving away 2 copies of Death Stranding here on the PlayStation Legion. And it's just a big thank you. We've saw the subscribers. We've saw the viewership. I want to say thank you for the real people. We're definitely going to get bigger, but for the people that have been supporting us every weekend, from Google Hangouts to now using Discord, you guys have been here every weekend supporting us. I've saw the numbers move up for the gaming podcast on Saturdays or any other gaming podcast I've done. So I want to thank everybody. So, the real subscribers, enter. We're working out the details, which Big Money, I think we should have the details out this week. So at least by Thursday or Friday, a video should be posted. If not earliest, it'll be Wednesday with the details on how you can enter to get a copy of Death Stranding from the PlayStation Legion. But remember, we're going to be taking a break next weekend. So no gaming podcast on Saturday and no Sunday show next Sunday. But we will be back the first weekend of October. That is going to be October 2nd and 3rd with a gaming podcast as well as the PlayStation Legion Sunday show. So I'm pretty sure, Big Money, you should be able to. You have 2 weeks now to get anybody else you want to feature, on the Sunday show. We've been doing damn good. Got to give big shout out to Big Money. Like making these connections and getting these people to feature, man, amazing. I couldn't do it by myself, man. So thank you, Big Money. Big shout out to you. Cause
this is for the squad, man. I go hard for the squad.
Yeah,
man.
as long as it's not Death Stranding or Dreams, but yeah,
Oh yeah, I'm good.
Don't worry, I'll get you a copy. I'll get you a copy of Dreams.
That's why I'm giving it away. That's how bad I don't want that game. I'm giving the game away.
Oh, shut that shit
You're
up.
gonna love that game when it comes out. You're
Yeah,
gonna love that
he
game.
He gonna be pissing in the water and everything, man. We know it.
You're gonna take that game to your bed and you're gonna stroke the shit out of it.
Come on, man. You gonna fall in love with. Hey, Big Money, did you watch that trailer though? Did you watch it?
Oh no, I ain't even. Where did you send it to?
Everywhere, motherfucker. I sent it everywhere. I wanted you to watch that shit. I sent it in the chat.
Big man for Kojima. Praise Kojima.
Well, just give it to me over at the chat. We finna go back over to the chat, right?
It's in the chat. I said I sent it everywhere. I sent that shit everywhere, Big Money.
The PS4 chat, Jay. The PS4 chat.
God damn it. Look at you, man. Okay. Guys, we up out of here. Remember, no podcast of any type next weekend, but we're going to be back the first weekend of October, okay? And we really going to be hammering down on this fucking contest to give away these copies because I don't need an extra copy. GameStop ain't going to buy that shit for nothing. So I'm going to be giving mine away. Okay, so we gonna get this shit ready this week, and we'll be back. So we basically taking a full 2 weeks, but we taking 1 weekend off. I'm gonna be, we gonna have content this week. If anything major breaks between Monday and Friday, trust me, I'm gonna make sure we cover that shit. But thank you, everybody that's been liking the videos, everybody that's been subscribing to the YouTube channel, been showing up for the gaming podcast as well as the Sunday show. Thank you guys, really, thank you. See you guys later. Let me go delete Big Money real quick.